Chapter 876. In the guest hall, Su Bing's words also gave everyone a clearer understanding of history. After sorting out his thoughts, Fong Ping saw that Li Hansong had recorded everything down. He continued, "Let's not talk about these for now. Let's talk about Xian Ming Tian's goal. What is Xian Ming Tian's goal this time?" Seeing that Su Bing was about to speak, Fong Ping pressed his hands together and said, "The truth. Now let's talk it over. If we can come to an agreement, it's good for you and good for me. Maybe we can help each other. But if you lie, once you're discovered, unless you really think that you can hide it, it won't be as easy to talk to you then." Jiao Kuei sneered. "Easy to talk to?" Fong Ping looked at her and said coldly, "What do you think? If it wasn't easy to talk, would you even have the chance to talk now? Don't force me to kill all of you. Do you really think you're that great just because you've lived for so long? Didn't you see how the last person who spoke to me like that died?" A light flashed in Jiao Kuei's eyes, but she quickly became dejected and didn't say a word. Su Bing sighed and said softly, "Department Head Fong, you don't have to be like this. Since Department Head Fong has said so, this old man will also speak about Mystic Heaven's sex objective. First, we need information from all sides. The Profound Sky sect hasn't appeared in the world for many years, so they don't know much about the current situation. They need to know some information about the experts." "Sure," Fong Ping chuckled. "I'll provide these for you. Secondly, Xian Ming Ming has appeared in the human world. I hope that the human sovereign can provide us with a place to stay." Fong Ping chuckled. "You want to start a sect? Is it really necessary?" Su Bing thought for a moment and said, "It's not just us. The other parties will have the same request. Chaos was coming, not only in the human realm, but also in the earth realm. With the emergence of experts, they all hope to reopen their doors and recruit disciples. Chaotic times are actually the time when monsters are born." As he said that, Su Bing glanced at Fong Ping. These young people were so powerful now. It was not strange at all, because chaos was coming. Su Bing continued, "Don't worry, Minister Fong. Reopening the mountain gate and recruiting disciples will only bring benefits to the human world. In the past, the great emperors had a feeling that the path to becoming an emperor might be related to all living beings. Therefore, this time, the martial monarchs might choose to walk the path of all life." Fong Ping chuckled. "Similar to the emperor path? If that's the case, why would they sit back and watch humans die?" Su Bing sighed and said, "Perhaps Minister Fong lived in a different era from us. In the God and Devil age, this is not the original sin. Minister Fong, if the human realm insists on doing this, I'm afraid we won't be able to coexist with the Grandmasters." Jiao Kuei also said coldly, "That's right. If you place your hopes on the Grandmasters to fight to the death for a bunch of ants, that's impossible. This is not because we are heartless, but because the Great Tao is heartless. We have cultivated bitterly to this day because of our own fate. Ants do not have this fate and are unable to strengthen themselves. Birth, old age, sickness, and death, that is also fate." "Bullshit." Tianmu opened his mouth and snorted coldly. "If I really die of old age, illness, and death, who cares if you guys fight or not? Everyone had to die. No one was an exception. But now, was it going to die of old age? Now, the slightest bit of carelessness could lead to the destruction of humanity at the hands of experts. And all of this was for the ridiculous seed of rebirth, for the ridiculous path of the emperor. You all have original sins. Whether it is you or those emperors, you are all sinners. You let your descendants bear the consequences of your own actions. Do you deserve to be called gods? You think you're worthy to be our ancestor? Bullshit. A bunch of selfish things. Do you think you're worthy to tell me that the Great Way is merciless? Who do you think you are? Each of you had better than a dog, and now you've jumped out one by one. Why didn't I see your shadows earlier? What celestial and human realm wall, seed of rebirth? All of them were created by you guys. Now you're pushing all the blame away. Why?" Tianmu was furious. Jiao Kuei was not angry. She said indifferently, "All of you are also the beneficiaries of this opportunity. If not for this, all of you would not have cultivated to this point in such a short time. Get lost. If there was no war, no danger of destruction, do you think I'm willing to be some bullsh asterisk T rank 9? Tian Mu's face was livid. Do you think I'm willing to be a powerhouse? Do you think I'm only becoming stronger for the sake of becoming stronger? What a joke. You don't know what you're talking about. Seeing that Jo Kuei wanted to say more, Fong Ping said indifferently, Minister Tian's entire family, except for Minister Tian, died in the catacombs. It's to protect the so-called ants in your mouth. Minister Tian fought until the origin Tao was scattered. It was also to protect the ants in your mouth. All of you have no right to say these things. In the past 60 years, Minister Tian has fought thousands of battles. Every battle, he fought with the will to die. The number of times he was seriously injured in this life is countless times more than those so-called powerhouses like you. In the end, he's all alone with nothing. He only wishes to retire and enjoy a few days of peace. We call such powerhouses grandmasters. All of you are just a bunch of self-righteous, ridiculous old antiques. Tian Mu snorted and said exasperatedly, Don't take these as my battle achievements. These fellows are not worthy of me talking to them. They don't have the right. Family members dying in battle was not a merit. In his opinion, this could be used as something to brag to old Zhang and the rest. But not these people in front of him. Why would it be something to brag to old Zhang and the rest? Because in the eyes of the martial artists, family members dying in battle, dying in the catacombs, this was the reason why they persevered in the battle. However, in front of these people did not even deserve to know what they were fighting for. They did not have the right. Even if my family died in battle, I don't need to mention it to these guys because they don't know what it means to defend. Fong Ping chuckled. That's true. Perhaps in their eyes, it's good that their family members died in battle. The great Tao is merciless, killing one's father, one's mother, and one's wife to prove one's Tao. How good would that be? Perhaps these people had really slaughtered their entire families for the sake of cultivation. Who asked my family to be like ants? To be my fetters? Su Bing sighed and said softly, Department Head Fong, Department Head Tian, you don't have to be like this. I've already said that this is because the era we live in is different from yours. Fong Ping smiled. Maybe. However, the human race is in trouble today. Surely it has something to do with you, right? Or rather, it had something to do with those high and mighty true gods and great emperors. You are considered accomplices. If you had lent a hand at the beginning of the crisis, I would have said that the ancestors were responsible, that they were real men. Let's fight side by side. Even if we die in battle, we will accept it. But do you have them? Fong Ping sneered. He waved his hand and said, Forget it. Let's not talk about this. It's meaningless, coming into being 2 years before the Great Chaos. Just based on this timing alone, you are a scourge. The root of the disaster is actually all of you. This point in front of all of you is this. You bunch of people are all the root of the disaster, a malignant tumor. Heavenly Emperor Xianming is a large malignant tumor. All of you are small malignant tumors that he spread out. Anyway, you're all not good things. You. I'm being a little direct. Only by being open and honest like this can we have a discussion. Fong Ping interrupted Jo Kuei's words and said with a smile, Let's return to the original topic. You want to establish a sect and recruit disciples, right? That's right. Su Bing also did not want to dwell on the previous matter. He said quickly, I hope that Emperor and Department Head Fong can allow this matter. If it were before, his idea was to establish a sect directly. When Grandmaster came into being and recruited disciples, mortals would flock to it like ducks if they knew about it. Even Emperor might not be able to care about this. However, at this time, he knew that it might not work. They did not have freedom at all. Moreover, in the human world today, Emperor's ruling power was extremely shocking. On the way here, they also asked around, what martial arts university? In their eyes, they were Emperor's disciples. There were actually Emperor's disciples everywhere. The martial artists in the military were actually disciples of another true god. The martial artists had already entered the sects of various true gods. In this way, it would be a little difficult to establish a sect in the human world again. It was not like this in the past. emperor, and these people, why would they recruit so many disciples? 3 to 5, 10 or so, that was the limit. Now, it was hundreds of thousands, millions. Education without discrimination. At this time, Su Bing felt that he might have to think of some other ways. Otherwise, even if it was a great emperor this time, there might also be a situation where no one was interested. Thinking of this, Su Bing said again, when necessary, the great emperor can come out of seclusion and help the human world kill some powerhouses. Fong Ping said with a smile, I know what you mean. Show your divinity in front of the people, show the existence of the great emperor, flaunt the power of the great emperor, and attract people to join your sect. Is that right? Don't blame me for being straightforward. This is the truth, isn't it? Su Bing said nothing. Fong Ping knocked on the table and said with a smile, Actually, it's not impossible, but I want to say a few points. First, martial artists above the middle rank are not allowed to be recruited. Second, no matter what kind of great emperor you are, once you come to the human world, you will be under the jurisdiction of the government. Third, when it's time to conscript, you guys have to take action. Fourth, you guys are not allowed to carry out lynchings for no reason. Things like directly killing your disciples do not exist. If there is a crime, you can hand it over to the government. Fifth, whoever wants to establish a sect must guard a catacomb. Sixth, all the disciples, every week, that is every 7 days, must attend an educational tutorial. The government will arrange a tutor to teach each family. They must attend. Seventh, the disciples, including you guys, will have missions every year and every month. For example, how many people, catacombs martial artists, these must be completed in accordance with the quantity. Eighth, wait until I think of it. When he finished saying these, Su Bing's face was already livid. Was this still considered Blacklight's disciple? Fong Ping added, All right, I forgot to mention, your headquarters will be built in the catacombs. We can transfer some of the cities that have been built now to you. Of course, you have to pay a certain price. Earth is too small, Sino Nation is too small, it can't accommodate powerhouses like you. However, you can enter and exit the catacombs on the condition that you report it. Don't think that this is bad. This is also for your safety, in case we think that the catacombs are invading and kill you straight away. Fong Ping chuckled. This is the catacombs, passageways, the boundary. In my opinion, in the past, not everyone had the right to enter and exit the two realms, right? Now that you guys are the Mountain Gate, we have thought highly of you. In order to conquer these places, we have really sacrificed tens of millions of people. Now that we are giving them to you, if you are still not satisfied with this, then we have nothing else to say. As he spoke, Tian Mu quickly transmitted his voice. Give up the catacombs to them? Fong Ping also transmitted his voice. Drag them out. It's even more dangerous to hide in 33 heavens. In the catacombs, at least we still know their whereabouts, but inside 33 heavens, it's even harder to monitor. Tian Mu pondered, but in this case, if they join forces with the catacombs, joining forces is still better than working together from the inside and outside. We can just plant our men there. That's good too. We can use their powerhouses to seize resources for us and cultivate talents. Sino Nation has too many people. If we really rely on us, can we cultivate them all? But in that case, once the humans who enter are cultivated by them to become stronger, are you sure they will still be on the same side as us? Some things still have to be kept in the open. If we don't agree, they may cultivate some people in secret. This is even more dangerous. It's better to open it up. Then at least we will know who they are cultivating. Didn't I say it before? According to the military model, there will be some effect after attending classes every week. After all, everyone is living in the modern world. Do you think they will really listen to these old antiques brainwashing? What heartless great Tao! Do you think it's possible to be the great emperor's lackey? Fong Ping did not believe it at all. Modern humans had been exposed to too many things since they were young. They really thought it was the same as in the past. If you are strong, then they will be your lackeys, thinking too much. Some people could listen to you for their ideals, for their dreams, for their future, but if they were to sell their lives and die for you, it was probably hopeless. He did not rule out the possibility that some people could not stand up after kneeling, but Fong Ping did not care too much about these people. Could these people who kneeled and could not stand up become powerhouses in a short period of time? What a joke! What about the Heaven Division here? There's no difference. The Heaven Division can't let everyone stay here forever, just conscript during the war. Don't tell me you and these people have been staying on the island since they came to the Heaven Division? If you can't supervise them all the time, then give them the appropriate freedom that they want. As Fong Ping said that, he added, give them some space, but don't push them too hard. Throw some hard bones to them. They just came out of the mountains after so many years. How much reserves can they have? If they want resources, can they not kill or rob? If they don't come to the human world, then naturally they can only go to the catacombs. In reality, we are also poor. They may not be interested. The catacombs are rich. Of course they will go to the catacombs to rob. The absolute peak does not enter the outer realm in this case, isn't it? Let them fight. One death counts. It's best to arrange for them to go to the catacombs with the boundaries. Let them fight each other. The boundaries, 33 heavens, the catacombs. If these three powerhouses really have a conflict, it will be a great chaotic war. As for us, guarding our territory, guarding Earth is enough. If the catacombs are really lost, it's actually not a big deal. You're quite black-hearted, kid. Fong Ping was speechless. How was he black-hearted? If they wanted to establish their own sect, what could he do? The Earth was so small, if he did not allow it, there would definitely be conflicts. If he allowed it, they were all powerhouses in such a small place, and with so many ordinary humans living, it would be a mess. After thinking about it, it was best to stuff them into the catacombs. As for the outland they were in, Fong Ping felt that it would be best if it could be controlled. If not, try to find a way to destroy it. These places were hidden dangers. If he found a new home for these old antiques, once they were tired of staying in their old home, they might not care anymore. Then you discuss it with Minister Zhang and the rest. I won't interfere in this matter. Tian Mu shook his head. Forget it, they could do whatever they wanted. If he really let these people go to the catacombs, it was good too. Sino Nation had many catacombs entrances, a total of 25. Now that 24 were opened, if 7 or 8 were given up, Sino Nation's pressure would be greatly reduced. As for these people joining forces with the catacombs, they would take necessary precautions, but in the short term, they probably would not do so. The catacombs were also different from humans. They might not be able to accommodate these old antiques. When the two kings wanted to come out, they were being watched by a large number of people. Now that these old antiques wanted to join, it would be strange if the powerhouses in the catacombs agreed. Fong Ping and Tian Mu spoke telepathically. Su Bing and Tiao Kuei looked at each other. Soon, Su Bing said, I need to report this to the Emperor and wait for the Emperor's permission. Fong Ping laughed. Of course. Having said that, Fong Ping asked, Senior Su, how many outlands are there? Are they all guarded by Emperor-level powerhouses? Su Bing did not hide this. Previously, their purpose was to borrow strength to fight strength and eradicate their opponents. After hearing that, he said quickly, in the past, at the end of the gods and devils, there were a total of 22 outlands in the world. Outlands is one of the forces, and the earthly Emperor God dynasty is also a big force. Another force is the idol emperors and true gods, such as the North Sea Emperor, who seem to have established sects in the later stages. Actually, strictly speaking, there is another force. There is another force? Fong Ping was surprised. Which force? People from the heavenly realm. Su Bing explained. When the heavenly realm was destroyed back then, not everyone died. Back then, some of the emperor's disciples did not die. Some escaped from the heavenly realm and were active during the earthly emperor period. However, these people also disappeared later, but they might not have been completely destroyed. These people might have their own purpose. The emperors disappeared, the heavenly realm disappeared. Maybe they know the reason. They survived, maybe it was the emperor's arrangement. How many emperors were there back then? This? I only know about the earthly emperor and the human emperor. Fong Ping laughed. What about the heavenly realm's emperors? The 3 emperors of the heavenly realm? Su Bing shook his head. The heavenly realm does not belong to one emperor alone, but is ruled by all emperors. The earthly emperor and human emperor are just things that happened in the later stages. In fact, it's just a division. What I mean is, Fong Ping laughed. I understand, it's just a name. The so-called human emperor and earthly emperor are leaders in name. In reality, they might not be in the earth realm or the human realm, right? Yes, exactly. The earthly emperor god dynasty was not founded by the earthly emperor himself. Now that you put it that way, I understand. As Fong Ping spoke, Su Bing suddenly said, "Although I don't know, Sky Emperor definitely knows." Su Bing explained, "I have heard of the names Sky Emperor and Celestial Emperor. Legend has it that these two emperors lived in the heavenly realm in the past and had contact with the emperors. After the heavenly realm disappeared, these two emperors appeared in the earth realm. After all, I have only heard rumors. There are some things that I am not qualified to know. Sky Emperor, on the other hand, definitely knows more than I do." Fong Ping was speechless. What did he know? This lazy cat had forgotten everything that should be forgotten and forgotten things that should not be forgotten. Other than sleeping and eating, a cat was worse than a pig. It was useless to ask. However, at this time, he understood one thing. This cat was really an old antique, the super old kind. He had contact with the emperors before. He had heard about it before, but now it was proven. The cat said that when it woke up that year, it picked up a lot of divine weapons. Could it be the battle where the heavenly realm disappeared? According to Fong Ping's guess, it was very likely. Otherwise, divine weapons were very powerful. Ordinary people did not have them. Only Celestial Emperor Xianming and the others had divine weapons? If it was the battle with Tengu, then the cat would not say that Tengu had borrowed many of its divine weapons. Obviously, Tengu was still alive when it borrowed the divine weapons. This cat is a god. The year, it might have been a battle between emperors. It's fine if it was fine, but it even picked up divine weapons. What does this mean? Even the heavenly realm was destroyed, and the forbidden sea was destroyed. In the end, a cat did not die. It woke up in a daze, picked up a pile of divine weapons, and continued to change places to be carefree and continue to sleep. Such a cat's life was really leisurely. Everyone else was fighting to cross. This cat did not cross on its own. What could you do? Fong Ping said quickly. How many of those 22 grandmasters are left? I don't know. Su Bing saw Fong Ping's dissatisfaction and sighed. I really don't know. Even the emperors don't know how many grandmasters have not been destroyed. That year, some emperors died in that battle. Some true gods were also destroyed. Black Heaven originally had true god powerhouses too, but all of them died. If there are no true gods and emperors and some grandmasters, even if there were people who did not die back then, without anyone to help them sleep, they would have died of old age. Not everyone could fall into a deep sleep. Without the ultimate strength to help you seal off your chi and stop the loss of vitality, it was not like you could not die just by sleeping. After thousands of years, it was normal to die. Of those 22 places, other than Black Heaven, can we find them in other places? Su Bing thought for a while before saying, "The world has changed. The changes are too great. If it's just us who go and search, we might not be able to. However, if there are true gods accompanying us, powerhouses like the Emperor, we can still find some clues after searching inch by inch." Back then, there were 9 grandmasters in the human world. Some of the grandmasters were different from us. They only built grandmaster passageways in the land realm. Of the 9 grandmasters in the human world, other than Black Heaven, I only know the location of 4 of the other 8. As for whether the master is still around, I don't know. Even some of the grandmasters, I only know the rough location. I don't even know which great emperor is in charge of them. He did not even know the names of some great emperors. He only knew that it was the realm of powerhouses. Back then, the era they lived in was more chaotic. True gods and great emperors fought constantly. Often, they only remembered a great emperor when the great emperor died. Most of the time, they would only know who died when the great emperor died. So, there are 13 catacombs? That's right. Of the 9 on Earth, other than Black Heaven, you know the other 4. Can you find their approximate location now? Su Bing thought for a while and said, with Black Heaven as the location, we should be able to find it. If heaven wants to conquer these grandmasters and need your help, what do the two of you think? Su Bing sighed and said, there are not many familiar people in the past. Minister Fong should kill less. Don't say such pretentious words. Fong Ping smiled and said, I asked this and you answered readily. Don't you have such thoughts? If I didn't guess wrongly, the 4 places you mentioned might have been Heavenly Emperor Xian Ming's enemies back then. Since we're being honest, let's talk more directly. Senior Su, do you understand what I'm saying? I'm not a fool. Neither are you. You're using me. Similarly, I'm also using you. This is the basis of our cooperation. At critical moments, maybe we still need Heavenly Emperor Xian Ming to take action and kill some old antiques. Is there a problem? Su Bing said hurriedly, I dare not agree on behalf of the Heavenly Emperor. Then go and ask. Fong Ping smiled and said, send someone back to ask. Ask Heavenly Emperor Xian Ming if he's interested in eradicating some opponents in advance. Everyone wants to become an emperor. How can it be so simple? If it's so simple, why wait until now? In this era, who doesn't want to become an emperor? When the time comes, they'll still have to fight. If that's the case, then kill some people in advance and reduce the number of opponents. Isn't that good? Su Bing pondered for a moment, nodded and said, then I'll arrange for someone to go back and report to the Heavenly Emperor. That's more like it. Fong Ping laughed and said, if that's the case, you guys will join heaven. All the high ranks have to join heaven. Of course, I can leave some rank 7s for you guys to prepare for the establishment of the sect. However, rank 8s must join and obey orders at all times to fight everywhere. Similarly, we'll give you some convenience, including recruiting people, settling down, eating and drinking. The logistics work is also very important. With your current situation, if you recruit ordinary people, you'll starve to death. Don't think about snatching. If you dare to, you'll have to exchange your lives for a grain of food. See if it's worth it. Don't expect any offerings. It's impossible. Su Bing did not refute this time. Fong Ping said again, oh right. How many people do you want to recruit? 10,000. Fong Ping frowned slightly and said, so many? Can you guys feed them? Don't worry, Minister Fong. If we really can't provide for them, we'll use some spirit stones to exchange. All right then, 1 caddy of spirit stones for 10,000 caddies of food. That's it. As soon as Fong Ping said this, Tiao Ke could not help but scold softly. 1 spirit stone for 10,000 caddies of food? That's just something used by ordinary people. Then if you guys have the ability, you can hunt monsters to feed them. I have no objections. Fong Ping sneered. Exchange or not? Having said that, Fong Ping stood up and said, Ironhead, record the situation of the 22 grandmasters. Also, arrange for the seniors to go to class. 3 days later, we'll set off to find the grandmasters. Okay. Li Hansong responded. Fong Ping glanced at Su Bing and Tiao Ke and said, both of you should polish your martial arts when you're free. If you can't even reach rank 8, how can you fight everywhere? Don't let the enemy not die, but you're beaten to death. You'll embarrass the Heaven Division. As soon as he said that, both of their expressions changed. Fong Ping stretched himself and smiled. I hope these grandmasters will be more honest. Otherwise, if we fight and kill them, we won't gain much in the end. That'll be a big loss. Su Bing and Tiao Kuei's expressions changed again, looking a little ugly. Fong Ping did not care about this, however, and walked straight out of the hall. What needed to be prepared had been prepared. What needed to be suppressed had been suppressed. Next, it was time to prepare for the Heaven Division's first show of power. He had to find someone who could beat them. It would be best if he did not have to use his peak. The cult headquarters, this was more suitable, but he was a little worried that Song Mao would run away after getting the bell. This lazy cat did not let people worry at all. It was not a big deal to help out a little. Chapter 877. At the same time, a secret place somewhere, Li Jun frowned. Is it really feasible to hand over the Heaven Division to Fong Ping? Zhang Tao, don't mess around, especially now that these old guys from the apotheosis period are involved. Don't scold them, Zhang Tao said faintly. Among those present, there might be a few from the apotheosis period too. Old guys, that's not good. Li Jun was embarrassed. Damn it. Don't tell me he scolded my own ancestor too? Beside them, Warlord glanced at them and said grumpily, "Don't count us in. Even if we were really born in the apotheosis period, we've long forgotten about it." Zhang Tao chuckled. "Senior, I have a question. If one day your master comes out, get lost. You're the one who has a master." Cough, cough, okay, not master, just sect leader or something like that. For example, if the sect leader of Purple Cap Mountain comes out, what will you do, Senior? Warlord was speechless. What does that have to do with me? Do I know him? Then if he knows the weakness of your origin path, cut it out. Warlord said nonchalantly, "I'm so strong. So what if he knows? All these years, I've already advanced forward on the path of Tao, much further than when I started. When I come out, he might not even be my match. Give me some benefits, and we can recognize him as a relative. As for who to subdue, do you think I'll care?" Zhang Tao chuckled. "Don't. Maybe you're his biological son. What should we do?" How? How could Warlord suddenly shut up before he could say anything? Damn, it was possible. These powerhouses could protect a paragon from death back then. It would be inexcusable if they were not direct descendants. Could he really be the other party's son? Warlord was embarrassed. It was possible. If it were him, if he could only protect one person at the last moment, who would he protect? It would most likely be a direct descendant. If that was the case, he might really be the old guy's descendant. This scolding was giving him a headache. Warlord felt that he had better not think about it. He shuddered at the thought. He was used to being a big shot for hundreds of years. If a father suddenly popped out of nowhere, he would die. As they were chatting, Zhang Tao suddenly smiled. "Since Senior Li is here, why don't we have a chat?" In the blink of an eye, an illusory figure appeared. Tiaming isn't his son. The Heavenly King subduing Heavenly King's voice was faint, as if he was right in front of them, yet far away. Hearing this, the War King cursed, "Old thing. When I asked you a few years ago, you didn't even say a word." Now that he had popped up, all he had to do was say that he was not his son. "Tell me, what's the relationship between me and him? I'm warning you, I'm almost at the end of my path. If you piss me off, I'll kill you sooner or later." Tuming, your personality sigh. Heavenly King subduing Heavenly King sighed and said slowly, "He can be considered his junior brother." Junior brother? The Warlord was speechless. Does that mean that the guy inside is really from my family? What does the Demon Emperor have to do with me? Ask not sword. Heavenly King Jin thought for a while before saying, "Perhaps he could be considered your disciple nephew, but he has already betrayed Purple Cap Mountain a few years ago, so it's fine not to recognize him as a relative." "So you were the one who got us out?" "That's not it." Heavenly King Zhen Wang smiled faintly and said, "You all came out on your own, or rather, were sent out by those people inside. I just happened to find you guys at the right time." "Nonsense," the Warlord said unhappily. "We came out on our own? Then we don't remember anything, so what do we come out for? To watch the show?" The Warlord snorted coldly and said, "You definitely know. Maybe it was arranged by you. Otherwise, what's the use of a bunch of people without memories coming out? Speak, which family's old ghost are you from? What does the first grotto heaven, Wangwu Mountain, have to do with you? You'll know sooner or later." "Forget it." The Warlord was not courteous at all. "It's been several hundred years. It's all the same. You old thing. Although I don't know what you want to do, it's nothing more than to become an emperor." "That's not it." Heavenly King Jinwang laughed and said again, "Maybe I have the same intention too. However, this old man isn't purely for the sake of becoming an emperor. You won't understand even if I say it. Everyone, you don't need to doubt this old man. If I really want to make a move against you guys, these few years, none of you can live. This old man living until now, maybe it's also a kind of habit." It was rare for Heavenly King Jin Wang to be somewhat emotional and said with a sigh, "Have you all forgotten what you live for? Mission? Maybe. Year after year, day after day, passing through one era after another, sitting and watching the rise and fall of civilization. Ah, life, what's the point of living?" At this moment, Heavenly King Jin Wang's tone was full of vicissitudes of life. Zhang Tao smiled faintly and said, hearing Senior's tone, Could it be a figure before deity confirm it? Deity confirm it? How can there be gods in this world? This old man is just waiting. Heavenly King Jinwang laughed and did not wait for Zhang Tao to inquire and continued. No need to ask anymore. Some things, knowing or not knowing, there's no need. Zhang Tao smiled and said, maybe. But this Zhang still wants to ask one thing. Is the opening of the passageway related to Senior? That's fate. Heavenly King Jinwang said complicatedly. When the human path flourishes, the passageway will definitely open. When the human path declines, the passageway will also open. Whether it opens for prosperity or declines, it can't escape this calamity. 1,000 years ago, when the human path declined, the passageway actually already opened. The reason why this old man appeared is actually somewhat related to Unquestionable Sword. Back then, Unquestionable Sword was like you, insisting on smashing this chessboard, wanting to defy the heavens with his power alone. Do you all know what Unquestionable Sword did when he entered the catacombs back then? Don't know, Senior. Please dispel my doubts. Heavenly King Zhen Wang's figure swayed slightly. Unquestionable Sword, genius. 2,000 years ago, he was Purple Cap Mountain's most outstanding disciple, the most outstanding successor. Among all the Grotto Heavens, the only chief who advanced to the apex. He was everyone's pride, the most outstanding, even saying that the only genius since the sect era started. That era, the living apex, were practically all old antiques from the deity confirmant era. Only he was like the modern era. Just like you, the first desperate realm powerhouse, when the sect era started back then. Unfortunately, humans have weaknesses. Success is due to the wildcat. Failure is also due to the wildcat. Zhang Tao said curiously, how is it related to the wildcat? That cat. Better not mention it. Heavenly King Jinwang was really somewhat sighing. But Zhang Tao smiled and said, Senior, better mention it. I'm quite interested. Before Unquestionable Sword reached the apex, he was already involved with this cat. Divine artifact, cultivation method, heaven realm ruins, countless natural treasures. Whatever this cat has, he has it. What is the wildcat? The wildcat is the heaven realm. I can't say. In short, this cat has gone through countless tribulations. No disasters or tribulations. Not even the heavens can destroy it. If Heavenly Hound was like it, it could ignore all these and live, but Heavenly Hound loved to fight until it died. The wildcat didn't die. It was both a blessing and a curse. It had a pair of discerning eyes, and wherever there were benefits, it would be there. Whether it was a person or an object, it would be there if there were benefits. Back then, it followed Unquestionable Sword. Perhaps it didn't understand, but how could some powerhouses who had experienced some great changes not understand? Unquestionable Sword might be the next powerhouse who had a chance to reach the monarch realm. Some people started to plan and plot in secret. Hence, Unquestionable Sword betrayed Purple Cap Mountain and went to the heaven realm ruins in search of opportunities. His strength improved by leaps and bounds, and he entered the Emperor realm in a short period of time. How could such a person be willing to be schemed against by others? Unfortunately, there were too many powerhouses scheming against him. Unquestionable Sword hardened his heart, lay dormant for 1,000 years, and finally decided to break this chessboard. Zhang Tao smiled. Looks like he didn't succeed. He's halfway there. Heavenly King Suppressing smiled. Back then, he entered the catacombs and killed many Emperor Realm powerhouses. Do you really think the catacombs are so weak? Back then, the catacombs were where the land realm was, and there were countless powerhouses. How many true monarchs are there now? Have some people from the Outland really been in slumber until now? Not so. Back then, Unquestionable Sword entered the catacombs and killed countless ancient powerhouses, almost destroying the catacombs. The few places that he had found in the realm beyond heavens had all been destroyed without exception. He declared that there would be no emperors or true gods in the three realms, but unfortunately, he didn't succeed in the end. No true gods in the three realms? Zhang Tao suddenly smiled. That's very ambitious. Even I wouldn't dare to say that. What did that mean? Would an Emperor realm powerhouse kill all true gods, let alone a non-emperor? What happened to him in the end? In the end, Heavenly King Suppressing said softly, if he wasn't an Emperor realm powerhouse, how could he succeed? Later on, some elders joined forces and ambushed him outside Purple Cap Mountain. That time, he still failed. Senior, I'm afraid you have something to tell me by telling me all this. Zhang Tao smiled. I don't usually talk about this. Today, I'm afraid it has something to do with Black Brilliance's reappearance. Senior, do you mean that I'm like unquestionable sword now, acting against the heavens? Not so. I just want to tell you that there will be a day of reckoning for some things. But now, it's not the time. I understand what you're thinking. But now, you have enemies both inside and outside. If you want to suppress the Outland, in the end, you might end up like unquestionable sword. Heavenly King Suppressing was only advising Zhang Tao that forcefully suppressing the Outland was not a good thing. From Zhang Tao's previous attitude, the probability of him suppressing the other party in a domineering manner was the highest. He did not even step forward to care about this. The meaning behind his words was clear, letting Fong Ping do it. If the sky fell, someone would shoulder it. Kill or slaughter, it was up to you. He did not care. Obviously, he did not expect Fong Ping to do it perfectly, just do it casually. Zhang Tao said lightly, so what? I think what Unquestionable Sword did back then was considered successful. If I'm not wrong, some of the old antiques were originally preparing to come into being. At that time, when humanity was declining, it was also the time for them to appear. In the end, they only appeared after 1,000 years. I'm afraid it's also related to this matter. When those fellows ambushed Unquestionable Sword, they were probably heavily injured and have been recuperating all these years, right? If I can do this and delay them for another 1,000 years, then it'll be a worthy death. When the Great Era arrives, it doesn't need 1,000 years. Give us another 100 years, and the ultimate will appear one by one. The powerhouses will be as numerous as the clouds. When that time comes, will we still be afraid of those old antiques? Senior, now that you put it that way, I have some ideas. Maybe we should do this. Even if we can't kill the other party, we have to beat them into a tortoise house for another 1,000 years. Heavenly King Suppressing sighed. It won't work. 1,000 years ago is 1,000 years ago. Now it won't work. This time, the general trend has arrived. The Heaven-Human Realm Wall must be broken. Once the Realm Wall is broken, the three realms will be connected, and the Tao will appear. The Emperor's path is right before our eyes. This time, even if we die, no one will avoid the battle. They had waited for too long. It had been close to 10,000 years since the Emperor left. Even true gods and emperors did not really have unlimited lifespans. 10,000 years is a threshold. Some old fellows are now approaching the end of their lifespans. You think it doesn't matter because your lifespans are still long. But at this time, some people can't wait anymore. 10,000 years. Zhang Tao smiled and said, so, the Emperor disappeared for almost 10,000 years? That's long enough. More or less. Heavenly King Suppressing also smiled and said, after the Emperor disappeared, there was the Catacombs Demon Emperor calendar. If the Demon Emperor calendar is really counted, it should be 6,000 or 7,000 years of the Demon Emperor calendar now. Before the Demon Emperor calendar, there was a break. Before that, some old antiques were already Emperor realm. One can imagine how long they have lived. 10,000 years is a big threshold. Even the golden body will decay. 1,000 years ago, everyone could still wait. But 1,000 years has passed. Who can still wait? This time, it will all appear. Zhang Tao smiled and said, in my opinion, living like this is better than dying, like a tortoise, hiding in the blessed grotto heavens and not coming out. Is there any meaning to such a long life? Isn't the purpose of martial arts to be immortal? Heavenly King Suppressing smiled and said, you are in this era, fighting for life. They are in that era, for the sake of becoming stronger, for the sake of longevity. This is the way. Those who walk different paths cannot make plans together. Zhang Tao said and looked at Heavenly King suppressing. Senior, are you close to the end of your lifespan? Without waiting for him to reply, Zhang Tao suddenly said, is Li Jun a modern person or an old antique? He can't be an old antique too, right? Li Jun looked at him with a dull expression and could not help but scold. I have been with you since I was in my 20s. After so many years, do you think I'm an old antique? This guy actually suspected that he was an old guy. Nonsense. Zhang Tao smiled and said, maybe he is the same as Wang Jinyang and the others. Senior, one more question. Wang Jinyang and the others, who reincarnated and cultivated again. They, Heavenly King suppressing pondered for a moment and said, it might be the few people I guessed, but it might not be. Back then, there were many powerhouses who cultivated the extreme Tao, and many of them died. It is impossible to determine who it is. Then he said, that Li Hansong used the Emperor armor earlier. I saw it. Zhang Tao's expression changed slightly. Heavenly King suppressing smiled and said, no need to guard against this old man. The divine artifact has an owner, and not anyone can control it. The Emperor armor disappeared in the heaven realm back then. As for who it fell into, this old man also does not know. In that case, Senior has experienced that period? Heavenly King suppressing smiled and said, no need to beat around the bush. This old man has lived for some years after all. There are some records that you don't know, but that doesn't mean this old man doesn't know. There are records of divine artifacts like the Emperor armor, but there are only records of divine artifacts. As for who has it, unless it is a life-and-death battle, otherwise no one knows. Obtaining a divine artifact, unless it is a stupid cat like the Azure Cat, otherwise who would leak it? Most of the Azure Cat's divine artifacts were also given out, and they were given to supreme powerhouses. If not for that, even if it was the Son of Heaven, it would also be besieged. This cat is stupid, but also not stupid. It has too many divine artifacts. If it doesn't give them out, it will die without a doubt. But it gave them out to supreme powerhouses. Supreme powerhouses are rarely greedy. One divine artifact is enough. Touching the Azure Cat is going against these people. Who dares to touch it? In this way, in every era, actually has a protector. Heavenly King suppressing laughed. Moreover, once it encounters danger, it will find a place to sleep. You can't find it at all, nor can you do anything to it. Back then, in the Battle of the King battlefield, countless powerhouses perished. More than half of the apotheosized era powerhouses died at that time. True gods fell like rain, and the heavens fell, and the earth cracked. The great Tao of the King battlefield was completely disrupted and could not be restored. If the Azure Cat participated in the battle at that time, I'm afraid it would not escape death. In the end, others fought until the heavens fell and the earth cracked, and it fell asleep in the depths of Kuokang Mountain. When the battle was over, it became the strongest in the world. Who dared to provoke it? Zhang Tao huffed and laughed. After the battle, a cat became the strongest in the world? Heavenly King suppressing added, if other powerhouses did not participate in the battle, everyone would remember. Even if they fought to the death, they would be careful. It did not go. At that time, no one remembered. Cough, cough, cough. Everyone could not help but laugh. A cat that never fought would go fishing when it had nothing to do. It did not participate in the earth-shattering battle, but no one remembered it. That seemed to make sense. Because of this cat, you could not see its figure on the battlefield. After the battle, look this cat is the strongest. Forget it. I can't afford to provoke it. Let it be. Anyway, it will not attack, so let it be. Thinking of this scene, Zhang Tao wanted to laugh. Then, with a serious expression, he said, then its appearance this time. If it's not you, then it's Fang Ping, Li Jun, or the few of you. Heavenly King suppressing said softly, chaos is coming. The Azure Cat may also feel the danger and needs to find a backer. It is naturally sensitive. Perhaps it did not look for it on purpose, but it will subconsciously make friends with people who can protect it. Of course, times are different now. In this era, there are too many people who have risen. It is still difficult to determine who exactly it is. At this point, Heavenly King suppressing continued, therefore, It is impossible to determine who the reincarnation of Li Hansong and the others are, but in general, they come from two periods. First, the Three Realms period. Second, the Sect period. Because only in these two periods did the path of extreme Tao be mentioned by some people. The first time the path of extreme Tao appeared, it was purely in theory. The second time was the Sect period, which led to the North-South War. These people should be from these two periods, and they are all on the path of extreme Tao. The Sect period is not far from now, and they have divine weapons. If they are from this period, Senior should have an impression, right? Heavenly King, suppressing, smiled faintly. That may not be the case. When powerhouses fight, most of the branches enter the space battlefield. In the end, one dies, one lives, or simply perish together. Who knows who has divine weapons and who doesn't? Why are there so few corpses of paragons in the King battlefield? And most of them are rank 9s. It is because of this. The powerhouses have all entered the space battlefield, and only the weak will stay outside to fight. In this way, there are almost no remains of paragons. Zhang Tao smiled. Senior, didn't you participate in the war back then? I said, don't try to trick me. Heavenly King, suppressing, laughed. This old man used the same trick you used back then, and it was useless. Hearing that, Warlord scolded. That's right. This old thing isn't like those old antiques who haven't come out for thousands of years. Don't look at him often at Mount Imperial Sea. This old thing. Who knows if he went to the catacombs to fool around? When the situation was not so tense back then, he might have been fooling around all over Earth. Swindling, he's good at everything. Tianming, my son. How can you say that about your father? You! Warlord flew into a rage, his face turning purple with anger. Zhang Tao looked surprised. Heavenly King, suppressing, smiled faintly. Beside him, elder ancestor Su said faintly. When he met brotherly back then, Jiang Timing bowed and acknowledged him as his godfather. Nonsense! Warlord flew into a rage. Nonsense! I didn't do that. Heavenly King, suppressing, laughed. Let's not talk about the past. You stopped calling me godfather a long time ago. Let him be. Old ghost, you damn it. Warlord was furious. Such an embarrassing thing. And you actually said it in front of Zhang Tao and the other juniors? Do I have no shame? What did I know back then? I didn't know anything. Didn't I get tricked by you? Cough, cough, cough. Zhang Tao, Li Jun, Nan Yunyue. These newly promoted peak martial artists were coughing nonstop. So, there was gossip. Warlord had always been calling him Old Ghostly, so no one thought much about it. But now, they didn't expect there to be more gossip. Warlord flew into a rage out of humiliation. What the hell are you coughing for? Is it against the law to acknowledge a godfather? Isn't it clear that you don't want to acknowledge him? Zhang Tao resisted the urge to laugh and said quickly, Senior Li, I think I understand why you're here. It's not a good time to fall out with those old fogies. Is that what you mean? That's right. But sometimes if you don't show them your power, they might think you're a pushover. I understand that they prefer force over persuasion. Even so, don't fight to the death. Heavenly King, suppressing, reminded him. Pull one hair, and the whole body will be affected. Once you fight with a venerable sovereign, you will definitely attract the attention of other venerable sovereigns. Once they realize that you have the strength to threaten their lives, you will definitely die. So, I can only win, not kill. Heavenly King, suppressing, looked at him and said with a smile, Zhang Tao, maybe you will really surprise me. What makes you think you can kill a venerable sovereign? Then, if you don't think I have the ability, why did you come? That's true. Heavenly King, suppressing, sighed. Why did I come? Do you really think you have the ability to kill a venerable sovereign? Over the years, except for the unquestionable sword, it seems like no one has done it. You, what are you hiding? Zhang Tao said with a smile. Nothing much, just a few divine artifacts. Do you want to see them, Senior? You. The juniors these days are all sly. Heavenly King, suppressing, laughed, then glanced around the myriad source palace and said slowly, trapping the enemy is very difficult. You can try the heaven trapping bell of the gray cat. Also, it's best to go to the sovereign battlefield. Too many absolute venerables have died there, and the space battlefield is already very stable. Find the entrance to the space battlefield. Maybe you can try to block it. What is the space battlefield? Zhang Tao asked. Heavenly King Suppressing was already far away, but his voice came again. Dark little house. Don't you have any ideas? Source space? Whose? Zhang Tao asked. Yes, source space. Dark little houses, powerhouses walk from here, found their own source great Tao, opened up a great Tao, and led to chaos. Who knows? Huh? A burst of laughter disappeared in the blink of an eye. Heavenly King Suppressing was already far away. As soon as he left, Zhang Tao snorted and said lightly, Old man, you know a lot. You don't ask, you don't say, you don't say. Even if you ask, you don't say. When you do say, it's already too late. Warlord said lazily. That's the way this old man is. Don't talk about your godfather like that. Kid, do you want to die? Warlord flew into a rage again. If you say one more word, I'll fight you today. Zhang Tao sneered. That was the truth. Why deny it? Warlord, this old man, was unfilial. Next to him, Li Jin added, Senior Jiang, does that mean I should call you great-grandfather? Damn, how dare you provoke me? Warlord flew into a rage again. How dare you? Ha ha ha, everyone laughed. Warlord was used to being arrogant. Now that he was humiliated, they were quite happy. Chapter 878. It's here. Soon, everyone arrived at a large valley covered in pure white snow. There was a river in the valley. The Himalayas were the source of many large rivers. Before reaching rank 8, any life form could not live without a source of water. Fong Ping looked around and sensed, shaking his head. I can't sense it. At this time, everyone carried the cat forward. The cat looked around lazily and pointed at the river with its paw, saying lazily, it's down there. The bell is blocking it. Brother Cat, can you take back the bell? Sure. The cat said nothing. Fong Ping looked at it. Take it. The cat looked at Fong Ping too. After a while, the cat said innocently, it's so dirty. They buried my bell in the mud. I don't want it anymore. Fong Ping almost vomited blood. This is why you don't want it? Don't forget, most of your divine weapons were picked up from the graveyard. I've never seen you despise them. Brother Cat, take it back first. I'll get someone to clean it for you later. All right then. The cat had no objections when it heard that someone was going to help it clean it. Soon, it said, Bell, come back, come back. Fong Ping did not know if it was a spell or if it was just saying it casually. It was most likely just saying it casually. However, as the cat spoke, the earth trembled. The Grand Canyon began to shake, as if it was going to collapse. Who's there? Enemy attack. Suddenly, a furious roar came from the river. In the next moment, a few powerful auras suddenly rose from the surface of the river, which he had not sensed before. At the same time, a huge bronze bell that seemed to be able to cover the sky rose slowly from the river. It was too big. At a glance, the area at the bottom was at least a few hundred acres. Was this the bell the cat was talking about? Although Fong Ping was shocked, he could not care less. The moment the bell rose, he could already feel the aura of a large number of martial artists. A few hundred acres of land, with a lot of people hidden, at least 1,000 auras. As expected, this was the cult's headquarters. A bunch of rats. They've finally shown up. Everyone kill the enemy. Fong Ping took the lead. He lifted his saber and broke through the air, heading straight for the sky above the lake. At this moment, several figures appeared in the sky. Who are you? Fear flashed through the eyes of the experts that were rising into the sky as they shouted. The Divine Sect's headquarters had been discovered. The key was that the invincible sky canopy was broken. In their eyes, the bell was an invincible defensive barrier. Even if a peerless expert came, they might not be able to break it. Some of their level 9 experts had tried to bombard it, but they could not break the bell at all. Underground, there was a supreme barrier laid down by the Great Pope. As long as they were inside the bell, they were the safest. But today, the sky curtain, which they regarded as the safest line of defense, suddenly rose into the sky. The headquarters would be exposed. At this moment, the bell flew up and the river flowed backward. In the river, some experts made their moves. Their spiritual energy swept out, causing the river water to be lifted up and evaporated. The original river disappeared, revealing a circular area. The buildings inside were complete, and they were actually the modern type. At this moment, a powerhouse. A powerhouse? These people's reactions were also extremely fast. When they sensed the auras of countless experts, some of them did not say a word and immediately fled. Tian Mu punched the air, and a rank 7 powerhouse's body exploded. He shouted, "Kill!" Right at this moment, Tian Mu punched through the air, causing a rank 7 powerhouse's flesh to explode. He roared, "Kill! Kill!" They shouted in unison. Close to 100 high-rank powerhouses charged in from all directions. At this time, Fong Ping was already fighting with a rank 9 powerhouse. With a slash, the other party was sent flying. Fong Ping, the rank 9 powerhouse fighting him, seemed to have recognized Fong Ping. He roared furiously, "Fong Ping, do you really want to be the enemy of the divine sect? Ridiculous!" Fong Ping laughed out loud. His figure was like a phantom, suddenly breaking through the air and splitting a rank 7 martial artist in half with one slash. Looking at the rank 9, he looked around and laughed. Only 4 rank 9s? That trash, the great Pope, after all these years, he only had this little trump card? At this moment, the 4 evil sect rank 9s gathered together. They looked at Fong Ping. In front, a middle-aged powerhouse shouted, "Fong Ping, the divine sect has withdrawn from Sino Nation. The martial artists who tried to kill you in the past are all dead. We just have different beliefs. Are you going to kill them all?" At this time, everyone's hearts were palpitating. Many people from Sino Nation came. There were almost 100 high-ranked ones. There were even 2 rank 9 monsters. One was sealing the area in the air, and the other had burrowed into the ground. Although it had not shown up yet, they could already sense the rank 9 monster's aura. Sino Nation had subdued a rank 9 monster. The leader shouted quickly, "Fong Ping, do you guys want to fight to the death? The divine sect powerhouses are here. Once we fight, don't think you'll have it easy. Even if we can't win, we'll bite a piece of you. 4 rank 9s, 8 rank 8s, more than 10 rank 7s. This was the strength of the evil sect headquarters. Very strong. Close to 30 high-rank powerhouses was already very rare. Not to mention the 9 high elders, including the fallen high-ranked ones. There were almost 100 evil sect high-rank powerhouses. A number like this was already very high. Fong Ping ignored the person. He looked at Su Bing and said in a low voice, "Old Su, are there any acquaintances?" The Big Pope was most likely an old antique. Among the rank 9s here today, were there rank 9s from that era? Su Bing glanced at the 4 rank 9s opposite him, 3 men and 1 woman. After looking for a while, he suddenly said, "I'm not familiar, but there seems to be some shadow of the God-fiend period." As soon as he said that, the middle-aged man opposite him suddenly shouted, "Who are you?" "Xin Mingming, Su Bing. Be asterisk starred." The middle-aged man roared angrily, his voice cold and harsh. He roared, "How dare the Grandmasters surrender to human martial artists? You all deserve to die. You're the ones who deserve to die." Fong Ping rebuked angrily. He suddenly charged out, shouting, "Kill the others and capture this person alive." This middle-aged man was from the apotheosis period. Break through the air. This time, Fong Ping's strength erupted to the extreme. With a slash, the void shattered, and cracks appeared. A huge space battlefield appeared abruptly. At this time, the others attacked one after another. This time, it was no longer an independent space battlefield. Just like the Battle of the Pinnacle that day, in the void, a huge black crack appeared, and a complete space battlefield enveloped everyone. In this short moment, mountains collapsed and the ground cracked in the periphery. The snow mountain collapsed. In the blink of an eye, many high-rank powerhouses entered the space rift one after another. Some evil sect rank 7s were swept in, and as soon as they entered, they were strangled on the spot. Seeing this, the middle-aged man roared, Those below golden body cannot enter. The space battlefield was not a place that anyone could enter. In the catacombs battlefield, even rank 9s could not enter. In the human battlefield, without a golden body, once they entered, they would be strangled by the cracks at the mouth of the rift. As soon as he finished speaking, the middle-aged man roared. His body suddenly expanded, becoming more than 10 meters tall. A huge Chongdao appeared in his hand, and he said sternly, "You all really want to kill us all? You talk too much." Fong Ping slashed out the space battlefield earlier. At this moment, he directly unleashed his golden body, vitality rising. Above his head, a vitality light beam pierced through the void, even condensing into an illusion in the air. Just like the illusion condensed in the pinnacle that day, standing proudly in the void, vitality surging. Kill! The sound of killing rose in the blink of an eye. In the space battlefield, the rank 9s began to fight one after another. Some rank 8 powerhouses also rushed into the battlefield, killing rapidly. Outside the rift, dozens of rank 17 powerhouses began to surround and kill the evil sect rank 7s who were fleeing in all directions. At the bottom of the lake, some middle and low-rank martial artists also began to run for their lives, terrified. Seeing this, Zhang Yu, CLA, and a few other MCMEU's top rank SXS saw the situation, their eyes glinting fiercely. Holding weapons, they rushed over quickly. Bringing the middle-ranked martial artists to participate in the battle was hoping that these people could break through in the battle and become grandmaster powerhouses. Everyone understood what Fong Ping meant. The Heaven Division rank SIXS were not too far away from rank 7. In this kind of situation, it was not impossible to break through the realm directly when they were bathed in blood and killing, the accumulation of invincible momentum, the unification of essence, spirit, and soul. Everyone did not waste any time, fighting together in the blink of an eye. Ah! Screams rose in an instant. Some evil sect martial artists roared fiercely, "Self-destruct. We have no way out. Kill them. Let's die together. The High Pope will save us. As long as the divine sect is not destroyed, the dead will come back to life." Some people roared furiously, their eyes bloodshot. In the blink of an eye, a few middle-rank martial artists went crazy, rushing forward and self-destructed on the spot with a loud bang. In the crowd, Su Bing had already been swept into the space battlefield. However, Zhu Suo did not. At this moment, Zhu Suo, who was just about to enter the battlefield, saw this scene and frowned slightly. The human world had indeed become a purgatory. They were all lunatics. The evil sect people were lunatics, and so were the others. Self-destruction seemed to have become a common occurrence. In the past, unless it was the last moment of life, otherwise, even ants would try to live, let alone these martial artists. As he was thinking, in the rift, Fong Ping and Old Manly roared. A saber and a sword directly pierced through a rank 9, dismembering one of them on the spot. The divine sect lives forever. Even though this person was dismembered on the spot, he still shouted fiercely, mentality condensing in an instant. In the blink of an eye, a loud bang was heard. The black rift trembled for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. That middle-aged man, on the other hand, took this opportunity to send Chun-Chi flying with one slash, leaping out of the rift in the blink of an eye. Outside the rift, Zhu Suo glanced at him. The other party also saw Zhu Suo, shouting, "Bone-melting saint, are you going to stop me?" Zhu Suo was stunned. In this instant, the other party broke through the air, fleeing toward the periphery. In the air, the phoenix spirit flapped its wings, as if hesitating, not attacking. At this moment, Fong Ping's cold voice was heard. As expected, only our own people can be trusted. In the periphery, Zhu Suo, the phoenix spirit, and the gopher were all there. However, the middle-aged man escaped, and none of the 3 rank 9s attacked. Although he had expected this, Fong Ping was still disappointed. These people could only be used, never befriended. Want to run? Ask me. Fong Ping, do you really think you can defeat me? Just as the middle-aged man was about to escape, Fong Ping's combat boots shone with golden light, blocking in front of him. If you run, you will die. Surrender, and I'll give you a chance to live. Arrogant. Before the other party finished speaking, Fong Ping's saber had already slashed through the void. Li Jun's void-piercing sword technique might not be suitable for Fong Ping, but the core of Li Jun's sword technique was still killing. With enough killing intent, it could also unleash some of its power. The other party was also holding a broadsword. With a roar, he quickly engaged Fong Ping in close combat. The other party was also a powerhouse in Origin Dao. As the two of them fought, black rifts appeared, slicing both of their golden bodies rapidly. This time, both of them did not enter the space battlefield. Fong Ping shouted, "Gophers, protect the people below, or else I'll send you to hell." It was fine if the two monsters were unwilling to fight a rank 9. If they dared to be perfunctory, Fong Ping decided to kill them directly to make divine weapons. As soon as these words came out, a large rat squeaked and quickly released its mental power to block the aftermath of the fight between the two. In the air, the phoenix spirit flapped its wings, slapping some of the escaping martial artists back one after another. Seeing this, Ju Suo did not attack, staring at the middle-aged martial artist. The other party knew her. She rarely left Mystic Heaven. Of course, rank 9 powerhouses, even in that era, were not dispensable. If the other party was well informed, it was not surprising that he knew her. However, he recognized her at a glance. Perhaps they had met before. Who is it? Ju Suo was deep in thought. At the same time, in the periphery, Butoya's gaze was solemn, shocked. So powerful. Fong Ping can actually fight with an Origin Dao. Not only did the other party not fall into a disadvantageous position when fighting with an Origin Dao powerhouse, but he even gained the upper hand. This kind of ability was even stronger than they expected. Stronger than the rumors. It was not just Butoya. At the moment when the battle between both sides broke out, there were some unusual movements everywhere. In the ancient Buddha Holy Land, the old monks seemed to be watching the battle deep in thought. In other places, some rank 9 powerhouses sensed the battle. Some of them used flight step and came over directly. Some of them also released their mentality and began to investigate. It was not far from where they were fighting. In the void, a faint crack appeared. A weak spiritual force was sent out to investigate. Just as this weak mental power probed out, another even weaker mental power seeped in through the crack. High in the sky, in a crack, Zhang Tao's eyes were cold. He said lightly, "Another Grandmaster. How dare you? How dare you show yourself at this time?" Beside him, Li Jun said, "How's their ability? These so-called emperors don't seem that strong. They are about the same as Mystic Heaven. Their vitality strength should be around 800,000 calories. Have they not recovered from their injuries? It's possible. Of course, it's also possible that they are separated by space. I can't see clearly," Zhang Tao said in a low voice. "Ignore this for now. Let's see what they do. This is good. Let them wake up. Otherwise, I'm really worried that these people won't wake up when the time comes. They won't know what happened, and we won't be able to fish them out." Li Jun looked at him and said, "You let Heaven Division fight everywhere. Are you also hoping that they can attract the attention of these old antiques and wake up from their slumber? Part of the reason. What if there are still places that we haven't discovered? At that time, if we really leave and an Emperor-level master appears and sweeps through our rear, then the gains will not make up for the losses." "No worries. I'm prepared," Zhang Tao said and looked at the cat below. He smiled and said, "What do you think about keeping it?" "It's not reliable," Li Jun said bluntly. If they left an unreliable cat behind, once an expert came to attack, the cat might not come out to help. In this way, it would be a huge problem. "Look again. If not, I'll think of a way to make you stay." As he spoke, Zhang Tao suddenly looked at the giant bell in the distance. His eyes flickered. "It's very powerful. If we use this to block the crack, it might work. However, we need to modify it a little. That's the cat's," Li Jun reminded. Zhang Tao smiled and said, "Bye. I'll buy it with 10,000 bags of cat food. Do you think it's possible?" Li Jun wanted to say that it was impossible, but on second thought, that might not be the case. Without dwelling on this, Li Jun quickly said, "Does the Pope have any clues?" He didn't appear. It's very likely that he has left Earth or is hiding in sky beyond heaven. The people here might not know anything. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given up so easily. What is the Pope trying to do? It's understandable that he sacrificed all living beings to open the passage. But now, there is no need for that. But he still did not disband the cult and continues to be active. What is his goal? Zhang Tao thought for a moment and said slowly, "Who knows? These people are very active now. It might be related to the impending destruction of the heavenly realm, but they might also have other goals." Zhang Tao said and thought for a moment. Then he said in a low voice, "I'm actually thinking about something. Who spread the news that chaos will happen in this era? To make these powerhouses choose to hibernate? In my opinion, even if they are heavily injured, there is no reason for them to wake up at this time. On the contrary, it's not right for them to wake up at this time. Did someone injure them to the point where they have no choice but to wake up now? Or did someone tell them that waking up now is the best time? 1,000 years ago, they were about to wake up," Li Jun added. But they still failed. The unquestionable sword made a move, delaying them who were about to come into being 1,000 years ago to this era. I'm still thinking, why did unquestionable sword do this? Is he certain that someone in this era can solve all of this? They're all waiting, Zhang Tao said with a deep gaze. They're all waiting. Waiting for what? Everyone is waiting for an opportunity. I don't think it's the so-called opportunity to become an emperor. They're waiting. Is the emperor really dead? Are they also waiting? Such a scheme to gather everyone in this era. I feel that it's more like the emperor's doing. If they're not emperors, do these so-called emperors have such ability? The emperor doesn't appear, he disappears. He disappears for nearly 10,000 years. Then in these 10,000 years, the emperor didn't appear. Who is maintaining this balance? Who is secretly making the situation develop according to what they want it to develop? There's also a large hand that covers everything and controls everything. And your ancestor, Heavenly King, subduing, might be one of the people responsible for maintaining the balance. Li Jun's heart stirred, and he said in a low voice, "You mean that the ancestor is actually the emperor's doing, to ensure that the situation develops according to their needs? Isn't it? Have you forgotten why humans could survive in the Jinxing era? Without Heavenly King subduing, could humans really resist the catacombs then? Not to mention then, even now, if not for Heavenly King subduing's deterrence to the catacombs, I'm afraid a war would have broken out long ago." Zhang Tao chuckled. So, Heavenly King subduing is very likely a balancer, balancing the strength of the catacombs and humans, making the catacombs unable to attack the human world on a large scale, making the powerhouses wary. Humans have such balancers. I suspect the catacombs have them too. I'm actually thinking, is King Qian also a balancer? You have to know that King Qian has never appeared. It's said that he once fought with Heavenly King subduing. In the end, he seemed to be slightly weaker, but it was a draw. In the end, he disappeared and has not appeared for many years. If he really wanted to tangle with Heavenly King subduing, perhaps the war between the two worlds would have broken out that year. But he didn't. What role did this person play? Balancer, Li Jun said with a headache. According to what you said, unquestionable sword might be one too. Maybe 1,000 years ago, it wasn't a time of great chaos, but it was about to break out. So unquestionable sword made a move and balanced the situation. That's possible, but I think unquestionable sword was still fooled. Maybe his original intention was to overturn the chessboard, but in the end, he still fell into someone else's trap. Maybe him killing powerhouses from all sides was what the person in the dark wanted to see. Some unstable factors have been eliminated, and time has been delayed until now. And now, this is the era that everyone wishes to see. Li Jun frowned and said, "Who can do all this? If it's a sovereign, why would they do all this? What are they trying to do?" Zhang Tao said self-deprecatingly, "I don't know about this. Also, I'm thinking about something. Could Li Zhu be one of them?" "What? Didn't you notice that Li Zhu is also balancing?" Zhang Tao said lightly. He is also balancing all the forces. He is weakening all the forces. He might also be one of the balancers that I mentioned. Li Zhen's headache grew. After a long time, he said, "Ignore them. We can't control them." Zhang Tao nodded quietly. Yes, they could not control them. The balancers that he guessed, did they really exist? Heavenly King subduing and the others. Why did they insist on delaying time until now? What were they waiting for? Were they waiting for people or things? Was it a coincidence that Wang Jinyang and the others appeared one after another in this life? Or was it inevitable? What's the opportunity for your revival? Zhang Tao looked down and fell into deep thought. Kill! The sounds of killing intensified. Tian Mu punched a rank 9 powerhouse until his golden body cracked. Bai Gongyin rushed forward with his spear, piercing the other party's skull. On the other side, Su Bing, Old Man Li, and Chun Chi joined forces to kill a Origin's powerhouse, also killing the other party until his golden body was broken, roaring furiously. Outside the battlefield, Fang Ping and the middle-aged martial artist were fighting in close combat. Both of their bodies were broken, the battle getting more and more intense. Even further down, Chen Yunxi and the others were bathed in blood, killing until blood flowed like a river. More than half of the 1,000 evil sect martial artists were killed. At this moment, corpses were everywhere. Still not surrendering, Fang Ping let out a cold roar, chopping off the other party's arm with one slash, letting the other party slash his head. Golden light flickered for a while, and the skull injury healed rapidly. Surrender. Tell me everything, and I'll spare your life. Wishful thinking, the middle-aged martial artist bellowed, turning his head to break through the air. In the air, a crack appeared, and the other party appeared a few hundred meters away in the blink of an eye. The magical effect of Origin's Tao. He had just appeared a few hundred meters away when Fang Ping caught up with him in the blink of an eye. Stubborn fool! Fang Ping let out a low roar, one hand grabbing through space, his palms separated from his body. In the blink of an eye, he grabbed the other party's throat. A crisp crack. He crushed the other party's throat directly. The middle-aged martial artist's expression changed drastically. His saber slashed down, turning Fang Ping's palm into a bloody mess. His injury healed in the blink of an eye, though. At this moment, a golden house came crashing down. This time, it was not used to cover the person, but to suppress him directly. Thunderous, even the space was cracked. The middle-aged man raised his saber, ready to slash. At this moment, his eyes moved suddenly, and in the blink of an eye, he broke through space, heading straight for the crowd below. Fang Ping's eyes were cold, chasing after him quickly. The golden house appeared in the other party's path in the blink of an eye. However, the other party broke through space again and again, avoiding the golden house. Who do you want to kill? Fang Ping asked suddenly. The middle-aged man sneered, breaking through the obstruction in the blink of an eye, heading straight for the rank 6 martial artists. His target? Chen Yinxi. Fang Ping's eyes were cold and fierce. He did not ask anymore, roaring, "Gophers!" Below, the gophers squeaked, but there was nothing they could do. They broke through space, blocking the other party. Who told you to kill her? Fang Ping appeared in front of him quickly, his eyes unfriendly. Did you receive the Pope's order? Who is the Pope? He seems to know me very well. The middle-aged man did not say a word, fighting the gophers with all his might. You've angered me. I wanted to spare your life, but now, you're going to die. At this moment, the original golden house suddenly changed. In the blink of an eye, a golden great sword appeared. The Changdao in Fang Ping's hand absorbed the golden great sword instantly, turning golden. Destroy. A fierce roar mixed with a strong mentality bombardment. Countless imperishable substances exploded, scaring the gophers into running away. The middle-aged man's expression changed drastically. Just as he was about to escape, he suddenly realized that the surrounding space had been fixed and locked. Impossible. Idiot. Fang Ping sneered. Do you really think that I've only learned a little about the void-piercing swordsmanship during these few days of closed-door cultivation? Die. The other party raised his saber to block, But the golden light on Fong Ping's body was blinding like the next day, illuminating the entire mountain range in a golden color. Rumble! An explosion sounded, and the other party's Changdao was shattered. A scream was heard, and in the blink of an eye, the golden body was shattered. Just as a powerful mental energy was about to escape, the House of Gold appeared once more and enveloped the other party. Rumble! The mentality crashed into the golden house, trying to escape, but Fong Ping sneered. Try self-destructing. If you don't, I'll let you taste the pain of having your mentality burned. The Pope. Maybe I know him. I'd like to see who can hide from me. In the golden house, the mentality was still crashing. The middle-aged man's appearance appeared, his face pale and desperate. He continued to crash into the golden house, trying to escape. This was the first time Fong Ping captured a rank 9 powerhouse's mentality alive. Fong Ping ignored him, turning his head to look at the rope, a ferocious smile on his face. Even when the middle-aged man was attacking rank 6 below, the rope did not budge. Although he did not expect this old witch to kill the enemy, she was completely indifferent. Just wait and see. Fong Ping, was not someone with a big heart. Being stared at by him, the rope suddenly felt a chill run down its spine. This person was so strong. He seemed even stronger than before. Kill them all. Don't leave any alive. Fong Ping suddenly shouted. There was no need to leave any alive. Among everyone present, perhaps only this middle-aged man knew something. As soon as his voice fell, Zhang Yu and the rest, who had captured a large number of evil sect martial artists below, exchanged glances. Suddenly, their expressions turned grim, and they attacked, killing the martial artists who surrendered on the spot. Fong Ping. In the golden house, the middle-aged man saw this scene too. He screamed shrilly, "If you do this, you'll be punished by heaven. Idiot! Heaven? Is there still a heaven in this world? We are our own heaven." Following his words, in the space battlefield, Old Man Li killed a rank 9 completely with 3 consecutive slashes. Tianmu also let out a low roar, throwing a few punches, blowing up the last rank 9 golden body. The few of them had no intention of leaving any survivors. They attacked one after another, annihilating the other party's mentality. When the few evil sect rank 8 powerhouses saw this scene, their faces were filled with despair. In the blink of an eye, the sound of self-destruction rang throughout the space battlefield. The divine sect is not destroyed, reborn from the ashes. His crazed voice reverberated throughout the entire space. Fong Ping sneered. Rank 8 and 9 are so easily bewitched. Their deaths are not to be regretted. Reborn from the ashes? Even if they're reborn, they're still useless. Everyone attack. Kill all the evil sect members. Wipe out the evil sect. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping roared, "Grand Pope, you're only fit to be a rat. No, you're worse than a rat." Before he could finish, someone said with a faint smile, "Stronger than a rat. Faster than a rat. We didn't catch him. It'll happen sooner or later. Don't worry." "I'm not worried." Fong Ping chuckled, turning his gaze to the wildcat. The wildcat shuddered. "Don't look at me. I didn't see anything. I just sensed something. Don't ask me. It's useless even if you ask." Fong Ping burst out laughing again. Looking at the corpses strewn all over the ground, he muttered to himself. Chapter 879. In the blink of an eye, 3 days had passed. January 28th, 25th of the 12th lunar month. There were only 5 days left until New Year's Eve. As the Spring Festival approached, China was filled with a festive atmosphere. In the huge Shanghai, a large number of foreigners began to return home. The roads were jammed with cars. Heaven Division, martial arts practice ground. A large number of people began to gather. Killing intent soared to the heavens. "Is everyone here?" Fong Ping stood on the central platform. This was the soldier roll call platform. Below, Li Hansong replied in a loud voice, "Minister." Everyone was present. "There are 7 rank 9s, 26 rank 8s, 62 rank 7s, 235 rank SIXS. There should be 330, but there are 330. This was the current strength of Heaven Division. Beigong Yin, Qin Chi, Tian Mu, the two demonic beasts, and Su Bing. A total of 7 rank 9s. In addition to Fong Ping and Old Man, Li who possessed rank 9 combat effectiveness. 9 rank 9s all possessed elemental Dao abilities. After Tian Mu came out of seclusion, this time, the Old Man did not pursue his own path. According to him, the path that could kill the enemy was the Great Dao. He directly followed King Song's Great Dao. This time, he walked almost 500 meters from his previous weak rank 9. Moreover, the Great Dao was right in front of him, and the path was clear. This was also the benefit of inheriting the path of a true king. No matter how far King Song walked, Tian Mu would advance by leaps and bounds before him. "Everyone is here," Fong Ping said loudly. "The Heavenly Division has just been established." When the Heavenly Division was established, its purpose was clear, and that was to destroy the heavens, suppress the 3 realms. The moment these words came out, the expressions of Su Bing and Zhang Xian changed slightly. Fong Ping did not care. Right now, everyone was just in a cooperative relationship, a cooperation of benefits. So, what if he said it out loud? The Heaven Division has only been established for 3 days. Everyone here is a veteran who has been fighting for many years. Fong Ping doesn't need to say much. 3 days is enough for everyone to arrange everything. Today is the first battle of the Heaven Tribe. I hope that everyone will be able to spread the name of my Tian Division and fight for a bright future. 100 years ago, China only defended and did not attack, allowing the enemy to be arrogant. 100 years later, China's strength increased tremendously. A large number of powerhouses fought for decades, killing their way to the top. Since the enemy doesn't want to stop fighting, then we'll stop fighting with weapons. Everyone, do you dare to fight? You dare! A loud roar resounded through the clouds. Nearly 100 high-ranked powerhouses were seething with murderous intent, wreaking havoc everywhere. In the crowd, Su Bing, Jiao Kuei, and a few rank 7 and 8 Mystic Heaven powerhouses were pale. They had also conquered the heavens. However, there had never been a generation of martial artists with such strong killing intent like the new martial artists. Ancient martial arts powerhouses cultivated for longevity. Neo-martial artists cultivated for the sake of killing and fought for their lives through killing. Then let's go. Today, he would wipe out the evil sect, destroy the root of the evil cult. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping leaped into the air. Everyone followed suit. With the help of high-rank powerhouses, some of the rank 6 martial artists flew southwest at top speed. High in the sky, Fong Ping took the lead. He was clad in Heaven's combat armor and carrying a Changdao on his back. His vitality was soaring. Fong Ping, who had a grave and stern expression on his face, quickly transmitted his voice at this moment. This won't do. Every time a large group of people flew, not only was it inconvenient, but it was also not imposing enough. We have to get a divine weapon, the large kind that can carry hundreds of people and travel through the air like a warship. Tian Mu and Beigong Yin stood beside him. These 2 people also held the position of deputy minister this time. Hearing this, Beigong Yin thought for a while and said quickly, "This kind of large divine weapon can be refined, but the cost is too high. Sino Nation could not afford to forge this kind of divine weapon in the past. One is equivalent to 5 or 6 weapons, and it does not have much combat strength. In the past, this was a waste of resources. With these resources, getting a few divine weapons and increasing the strength of powerhouses was the most important thing. Therefore, in the neo-martial era, these auxiliary divine weapons rarely appeared. It was not that they could not be refined, it was that they could not and were not willing to. Weapons like the Hall of Myriad Origins were even less likely to be refined. The consumption was too high. Then let's refine it. Our speed is different, and floating in the air also consumes a lot of energy. This is Earth, not the catacombs. Earth's energy can supply middle and low-ranked recovery, but it's not enough for us. If we move on Earth, we must get 1. Even if we're in the catacombs, we must move together. If we fly like this, we'll easily be separated and give the enemy an opportunity, Bai Gongyin said quickly. Then prepare the materials you need and let someone try to refine it. Me again? Fong Ping was speechless. The huge Heaven Division was so poor. If he did not throw money into it, the Heaven Division would go bankrupt. Old Zhang, that fellow, had allocated 1,000 caddies of energy stones to him to show the government's support. According to Old Zhang, he was living a good life now. Back when the 3 divisions and 4 houses were established, who had this kind of treatment. Old Zhang made it sound like Fong Ping was an unpardonable evil. Fong Ping did not talk about this. He did not expect the government to have much support anyway. He said quickly, I'll think of a way to gather it. There are still quite a lot of monster carcasses from last time. It's not difficult to get some demon cores. We have skeletons and whatnot. I'll ask Dean Liu to design it later. If we really want to refine it, we'll have to let Paragon do it. It's a pity we can't get Paragon's demon cores. Otherwise, if we install a Paragon energy cannon on the battleship, we can really suppress everything. Bai Gongyin could not help but laugh. Tianmu asked, what about the cat? The Heaven Division attacked the cult headquarters. Tianmu also knew some secrets and knew that the cult headquarters was related to the cat. Should he not bring the cat along now? Moreover, if they attacked the headquarters and took the bell, would the cat not leave? The cat. Fong Ping smiled bitterly. You didn't see it? It's behind us. Didn't you see those rank 6 martial artists carrying a Simmons cushion? The few of them were stunned. They did not notice it. They did not sense it either. The next moment, they turned around one after another. Behind them, a group of rank 6 martial artists gathered together, carrying a cushion. There seemed to be something on it. The few of them fixed their eyes on it. Who else could it be but the cat? The cat was lying on the cushion, half asleep, with a lot of snacks by its mouth. If it wanted to eat, it would open its mouth and take a bite. If it did not want to eat, it would close its eyes and sleep. This was the life of a cat. Flying? Was it not tired? It did not want to move at all. The swindler insisted on bringing it to see the bell, to see if it was the one that it had lost. After thinking about it again and again, the cat was still prepared to refuse. In the end, the swindler made it a small cat's nest and asked people to carry it there. The cat thought that as long as it was not asked to fly, it would not be a problem. Hence, it did not refuse and came along. This, Tianmu's expression was strange. Is it appropriate? No one would see it if they carried a cat there in the face of a great battle. If they saw it, they would laugh themselves to death. The high fighting spirit and seething killing intent from before would probably be washed away in an instant. Those who don't know might think that we're clearing the way for this cat. Tianmu was speechless. If this Simmons cushion was replaced with a small palace or a sedan chair, how would they be different from the cat's thugs? Fong Ping said helplessly, it's too lazy. It has to be like this. Next time, it'll be much better if it gets a warship. It won't be as ostentatious as it is now. With it around, there'll be a sense of security. Even if it doesn't fight, it can deter some of the old antiques here. Next time, can you keep it? It'll be provided with good food and drinks. Is it better to go to the catacombs or here? As for the bell, that small ball won't leave until it's found. Fong Ping had a smug smile on his face. The small ball was found. It was most likely left behind by the Grand Pope. When old Zhang went to look for it later, he also found the bell-like ball. However, this thing was hidden by old Zhang. Even if the cat could sense where it was, this cat would probably not look for it, waiting for people to come to it. As long as the bell did not merge, the probability of it leaving was not high. Tianmu did not know whether to laugh or cry. However, he had to admit that this was probably the easiest apex to satisfy. Giving something to eat and drink, something that cost a few thousand yuan, could make this cat follow you everywhere. The price-performance ratio was too high. If it really helped out at a critical moment, it would be a great help, just like earlier, when it hooked King Pine to death. This was incomparable to the average apex. Tianmu did not continue this topic. He asked quickly, will Minister Zhang come? He won't, Fong Ping said telepathically. but he said that he'll pay attention to the ancient Buddhist sacred land. The cult headquarters is in the ancient Buddhist sacred land's territory. The Grand Pope probably ran away and might not dare to come back, especially when he knows that the cat is looking for the bell. As long as he keeps an eye on the ancient Buddhist sacred land, the probability of an apex making a move this time is not high. If they really make a move, he'll be here anytime. Does the ancient Buddhist sacred land have something to do with the cult? I'm not sure. Old Zhang said that we don't have to care too much. Even if there is, we can just pretend that we don't know. Right now, the other 5 sacred lands are still the first camp to fight against the catacombs. We can't treat the 5 sacred lands the same way we treat the heavens. Zhang Tao made it clear. Some people could be fought. There was nothing to talk about. Some people could not be fought. Even if they had their own thoughts, they were still a force that could be united. The 5 sacred lands were one of them. As a force that had fought against the catacombs for hundreds of years, although the 5 sacred lands did not initiate many wars, they did resist the catacombs' invasion. Under such circumstances, even if they were dissatisfied with the other party's negative attitude, they could not push the other party to the enemy's camp. I understand this. Tianmu nodded and said, "How's the strength of the cult headquarters?" "I'm not sure." Fong Ping replied, "The shell of the cat's bell has the function of defending against mentality probing. It's also this thing that blocked the apex's line of sight. If you don't investigate carefully, you won't be able to discover it at all." Old Zhang went to take a look before, but he could not penetrate it. I'm not too sure about the specifics. However, their strength should not be too strong. The 9 grand elders from before either died or ran away. Even if the Grand Pope has trained some people, there won't be too many. 9 powerhouses comparable to Origin Dao, plus Li Hansong and the others who were rank 8 but could fight rank 9 powerhouses, plus the cat, with such strength. If they could not even take down the cult headquarters where the Grand Pope was not around, then the cult's strength was terrifyingly strong. As he said that, Fong Ping took a deep breath and said, "This time, it's the Heaven Division's first battle. Not only the powerhouses of the 33 heavens are paying attention. As long as the battle starts, the 5 sacred lands will also pay attention. Even the catacombs will know. Therefore, this battle must be won beautifully. When we reach the place, there's only one word: kill. Everyone has the right to punish the cult martial artists, whether they have harmed humans before or not. It's the same." Tianmu was speechless. "Kid, you don't have to say this. When the battle starts, there's only the difference between friend and foe. There's no such thing as innocent or not." After fighting on the battlefield for many years, he had long gotten used to it. In the beginning, for the sake of war, he had led many troops to besiege some villages and towns, some small cities, killing countless people. Did everyone deserve to die? Some of the weaker ones did not even know who they were. However, when the battle started, who would have the time to distinguish these? Victory or defeat was the people's suffering. If Earth had not set up the battlefront in the catacombs, after all these years, Earth might have been destroyed. Then kill. Fong Ping did not say much, his tone returning to seriousness. The cult martial artist's strength should not be too strong. Even if the Grand Pope has been training for many years, at most, it's on the scale of the 33 heavens. Use the cult as a sacrifice to celebrate the establishment of our Heaven Division. All right, everyone's murderous intent was boiling. Destroy the cult first, then conquer the heavens, eliminate the internal hidden dangers. The next step should be to go to the catacombs. At the same time, Fong Ping and the others set off. Ancient Buddha's sacred land. In an incomparably huge golden temple. The basilica. Above, a skinny, bald old man wearing a kasaya said slowly in an ancient tone with a hoarse voice, "Venerable Martial King, since you're here, why don't you show yourself?" Silence. The old man held the prayer beads in his hand, murmuring softly for a while. After a while, he looked at the crowd below, saying slowly, "Go, welcome the distinguished guests. The 6 sacred land are like brothers. Sino Nation's young martial artists are famous in the Devil's Denver. You can also learn from them." Below, a few young powerhouses led by Bucho Yi responded one after another. Beside the crowd, Tuo Man said nothing. Above, the old man looked at Tuoman, saying slowly, "Tuoman, go too." Tuoman bowed slightly. "Respect the will of the ancient Buddha. Conflict must not occur." The skinny ancient Buddha still said one sentence. Tuoman's ancestor was ancient Buddha Yaoguang. Tuoman's grandfather was the cult's second elder, Varna. Ancient Buddha Yaoguang's lineage was one of the 8 major lineages of the ancient Buddha sacred land. There were still many descendants. Previously, when Varna's identity was exposed and he died in Sino Nation, the ancient Buddha sacred land also directly denied Varna's identity. If that was the case, then the lineage of ancient Buddha Yaoguang could not be touched. Tuoman was not affected too much, but he was marginalized. During the youth tournament, Tuoman was the number 1 of the ancient Buddha sacred land's youth generation. He had long entered rank 7, but now his status was far inferior to Buchuo Yi. The youths below quickly got up and walked out one after another. After they left, an old man of what rank said softly, "Ancient Buddha, is it appropriate to let Tuoman meet Fong Ping?" Varna died in the battle to encircle Fong Ping. Previously, in the youth tournament, Fong Ping had also dealt a ruthless blow to Tuoman, smashing his limbs into pieces. Now that Tuoman was asked to go, this person did not know what the ancient Buddha meant. Above, the skinny old monk said slowly, "This trip is also to resolve the grudge." Sino Nation's Fong Ping is now leading the Heaven Division. Martial King and the others intend to train Fong Ping to become the next leader. Sino Nation's Heaven Division cannot be underestimated. Although it has just been established, its strength is not weak. The 6 great holy lands now do not live up to their name. If they really want to be counted, it should be the 7 great holy lands. The Sino Nation government can also become a holy land on its own, and its strength is not weak. Previously, Martial King fought against many and killed a true king powerhouse. Pluto King achieved the 2nd Great Tao. Spear King and the others have advanced to the impasse realm. The old monk said a few words and lamented, "Sino Nation nurtures war through war, becoming stronger the more they fight." Now, the situation has been reversed. Next, there may be a large-scale battle in the Devil's Den. We still need to make friends with the Sino Nation's young powerhouses. After the old monk finished speaking, he continued to silently recite the scriptures. After a moment, he said again, "This time, old people do not need to leave the Holy Land. Martial King will supervise outside the Holy Land to prevent Martial King from misunderstanding." Ancient Buddha. In the main hall, someone was dissatisfied and said angrily, "Martial King supervising the Holy Land. This is extremely inappropriate." The skinny old monk glanced at the crowd and slowly said, "Among the 6 holy lands, Stellar Sky City was originally the leader. Now that King Wu and Stellar Sky City have reached an agreement, the subduing Heavenly King has transferred everything in Stellar Sky City to King Wu. The other holy lands, Andes Mountain, Totem City, previously each had a peerless demon fall, their strength greatly reduced. The God's Paradise cannot bear the heavy responsibility of resisting the Devil's Denver. Only Sino Nation has this strength. Since Martial King is here, he has no choice but to do so." When the old monk said this, he was also filled with emotion. It was a pity that our ancient Buddha Holy Land did not have a person like Martial King. However, ancient Buddha Yao Guang had fallen, and now the person who inherited the path of Yao Guang was about to achieve the position of ancient Buddha. In this way, the ancient Buddha Holy Land was still extremely powerful. They just lacked a powerhouse who could suppress the heavens. If there was, the ancient Buddha Holy Land would not have to be afraid of people like Martial King. Now, Martial King was supervising outside the Holy Land. He also felt that no one could do anything to him. These powerhouses of Sino Nation were getting stronger as they fought. Perhaps in these years, the ancient Buddha Holy Land's defensive stance should also change. The Himalayas. The highest peak on earth was in this mountain range. When they arrived near the Himalayas, Su Bing, who had been silent, suddenly said, "There seems to be a grandmaster here in the past." Fong Ping looked sideways and frowned. "The 4 grandmasters you mentioned, I don't think this place has mentioned it before, right?" Su Bing explained, I didn't remember it before, and I have never been here before. However, seeing this mountain range, I have a vague impression of it. In the past, there seemed to be a Wuji cloud vow here, but I am not sure whether it is here or not. Beside him, Tiao Kuei thought for a while and said, it should be here. The Wuji cloud vow is under the jurisdiction of Empress Wu Mo. In the past, there were not many empresses, so I have some impression. Wu Mo, Fong Ping repeated, smiling. There seems to be this person in the myths, but it mainly originated from Buddhism, slightly different from Taoism's 33 heavens. Now it seems that the distinction between Buddhism and Taoism was not too obvious. Su Bing shook his head. In the past, there was no such thing as Buddhism and Taoism. The Wuji cloud vow? Fong Ping looked around, smiling. That's good too. There's a grandmaster here, not bad. I'm just a little curious. Is the High Pope Empress Wu Mo? The cult's headquarters seemed to be nearby. Since there was a grandmaster here, did it mean that the High Pope came from the Wuji cloud vow? Or was it someone else? Without thinking too deeply, Fong Ping looked at the cat and said, did you sense the location of your bell? Behind him, the cat lay on the mattress, saying lazily, liar, next time let that little fatty brush my fur. I've been itching a little lately. Fong Ping was speechless. I'm asking about serious matters. You're considering letting Warlord brush your fur? So, brushing your fur is the serious matter in your eyes? Come to think of it, in this cat's eyes, these were probably the important matters. Fong Ping said perfunctorily, okay, but little fatty is old now, he's old. Next time, I'll let little fatty brush your fur. He's that little fatty's descendant. Oh, that works too. The cat had no objections, saying quickly, the bell is right in front. As he said that, the cat's paw pointed ahead. Fong Ping fixed his gaze. That was already the central area of the mountain range. So it was hiding here. No wonder the cult's headquarters was so secretive. This place was cold and frozen, uninhabited all year round. Moving around here, the chances of being exposed were also the lowest. Fong Ping took a deep breath. This was the Heaven Division's first operation. He had to be more reliable. As he thought about it, Fong Ping turned his head to look at the crowd, reminding them again, all high-ranked martial artists, your opponents are all high-ranked. Don't let anyone slip through the net. Rank 6 martial artists are mainly responsible for killing middle and low-rank martial artists, capturing some important figures. Also, remember clearing the spoils of war, sealing some materials, some documents. These are all your missions. This time, you must uproot the cult. All the cult's branches and branches around the world must be found. I'll repeat this one last time. Fong Ping's voice grew louder, saying sternly, you're not allowed to hide any spoils of war. Distribute them uniformly according to merit. All Sino Nation martial artists have experience in this area. Everyone from Black Light Sect. Remember this. If you're discovered, don't blame me for being ruthless. As soon as he said that, Su Bing's expression was indifferent, saying, people from Black Light Sect don't care about these. Fong Ping was underestimating them too much. Fong Ping, on the other hand, did not care. I'll say the unpleasant things first, lest these people fight among themselves for the spoils of war later. That would be troublesome. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping quickly flew in the direction pointed by the cat. Before he reached the place, Fong Ping's gaze flickered slightly. From afar, a group of people came using flight step. The one leading them was his acquaintance, Buchuo Yi. Back then, Buchuo Yi was at Mentality Vitality Unity. Now he was also at middle stage rank 7. This speed was not considered slow. Instead, it was extremely fast. Tumen, who was behind Buchuo Yi, was also only at middle stage rank 7. At that time, Tumen was already at early stage rank 7. When he was at rank 6, Buchuo Yi had a head of long, messy hair. When he reached rank 7, he shaved his head. At this moment, Buchuo Yi stopped about 1,000 meters away. Looking at Fong Ping from afar, he saw Fong Ping standing at the forefront of the crowd with a few rank 9 martial artists beside him. Buchuo Yi's expression was complicated. He put his palms together and bowed in the air, saying, "Greetings, Minister Fong. Buchuo Yi, you're still alive." Fong Ping chuckled. Previously on the trip to the Imperial battleground, I heard that someone had fallen. I thought you died there. Minister Fong, you're already the honorable leader of a department now. Why are you still brooding over what happened in the past? Bucho Yi knew the reason why Fong Ping was not courteous to him. Back then, during the youth competition, he had killed Sino Nation martial artists. However, that was the case during the youth competition. Fong Ping had also killed people from other holy lands. Upon hearing that, Fong Ping smiled faintly. Maybe I'm being petty. However, since we're all heading in the same direction, I don't want to say anything else. This time, the ancient Buddhist sacred land sent you here. Is there a reason? To see if your department needs any help, Fong Ping glanced at the other party and smiled. All right, since you guys have this intention, how about defending the periphery? Bucho Yi gave him a look and said deeply, we don't need to participate in the battle. Minister Fong, the people from the 6 holy lands can all fight. Thank you for your kind intentions. Fong Ping laughed and said, however, we really don't need your help. This time, the Heaven Division is also breaking in. It's enough for you guys to defend the periphery. Then we'll do, as Minister Fong says. Bucho Yi did not say much. Fong Ping, however, glanced at Tuo Man behind him. This person's grandfather was the evil sect's second elder. Could he be related to the evil sect? However, Tuo Man was only a middle stage rank 7. He could not stir up any trouble. Even so, Fong Ping still reminded everyone telepathically. The ancient Buddhist sacred land still had to defend against what needed to be defended. He was transmitting his voice. In the distance, Bucho Yi and the others were also transmitting their voices. Fong Ping from Sino is improving too fast. I heard that he can fight a rank 9. Previously, he even ordered the Devil's Den to put him on the wanted list of all territories. These days, he has been active in Sino. We don't know how strong he is exactly. Maybe we can see it this time. The youth competition was actually not that long ago. It was held in June 2010. It was now the end of January 11th. It had only been half a year. From rank 6, Fong Ping could fight a rank 9 now. When the news came, those who knew Fong Ping found it hard to believe. At one point, they thought that Sino Nation only needed to bring out a young powerhouse who could suppress everyone else. Sino Nation was creating a god themselves. However, this time, Fong Ping had become the Heaven Division's deputy minister, the direct leader. Bucho Yi and the others felt that no matter how much Sino Nation flattered them, they would not joke around with the division. In the crowd, someone telepathically said, "You'll know when you see it." Also, is the evil sect really here when the Heaven Division came this time? Regarding the Heaven Division wanting to annihilate the evil sect, this matter was not mentioned in detail. However, when Sino Nation martial artists crossed the border, they still had to greet them. Yesterday, the Sino Nation government had sent a letter, and yesterday, King Wu had started to monitor the ancient Buddhist sacred land. I don't know, but since Sino Nation is making such a big fuss, maybe they are really here, Bucho Yi said in a low voice. You'll know when you see it. Everyone did not say anything else. Bucho Yi, on the other hand, looked at Tuo Man. This time, the ancient Buddha had asked Tuo Man to come out as well. It might have nothing to do with the evil sect. Could it be that the ancient Buddhist sacred land had really been infiltrated by the evil sect? Who was the Grand Pope? Could it be one of the 7 ancient Buddhas that existed today? Bucho Yi dared not think too deeply. If that was really the case, he was afraid that there would be chaos next. He hoped that was not the case. Chapter 880. It's here. Soon, they arrived at a snow-covered valley. There was a river in the valley. The Himalayas were the source of many large rivers. Any life form could not live without a water source before reaching rank 8. Fong Ping looked around and sensed, shaking his head. I can't sense it. At this time, everyone carried the cat forward. The cat looked around lazily and pointed at the river with its paw, saying lazily, "It's down there. The bell is blocking it." Brother Cat, can you take back the bell? Sure. The cat said nothing. Fong Ping looked at it. Take it. The cat looked at Fong Ping too. After a while, the cat said innocently, It's so dirty. They buried my bell in the mud. I don't want it anymore. Fong Ping almost vomited blood. This is why you don't want it? Don't forget, most of your divine weapons were picked up from the graveyard. I've never seen you despise them. Brother Cat, take it back first. I'll get someone to clean it for you later. All right then. The cat had no objections when it heard that someone was going to help it clean it. Soon, it said, Bell, come back, come back. Fong Ping did not know if it was a spell or if it was just saying it casually. It was most likely just saying it casually. However, as the cat spoke, the earth trembled. The Grand Canyon began to shake, as if it was going to collapse. Who's there? Enemy attack. Suddenly, a roar came from the river. In the next moment, a few powerful auras suddenly rose from the surface of the river, which he had not sensed before. At the same time, a huge bronze bell that seemed to be able to cover the sky rose slowly from the river. It was too big. At a glance, the area at the bottom was at least a few hundred acres. Was this the bell the cat was talking about? Although Fong Ping was shocked, he could not care less. The moment the bell rose, he could already feel the aura of a large number of martial artists. A few hundred acres of land, with a lot of people hidden, at least 1,000 auras. As expected, this was the cult's headquarters. A bunch of rats. They've finally shown up. Everyone kill the enemy. Fong Ping took the lead. He lifted his saber and broke through the air, heading straight for the sky above the lake. At this moment, several figures appeared in the sky. Who are you? Fear flashed through the eyes of the experts that were rising into the sky as they shouted. The headquarters of the divine sect had been discovered. More importantly, the invincible sky curtain of defense had actually been broken. In their eyes, the bell was an invincible defensive barrier. Even if a peerless expert came, they might not be able to break it. Some of their level 9 experts had tried to bombard it, but they could not break the bell at all. Underground, there was a supreme barrier laid down by the Great Pope. Inside the bell, they were the safest. But today, the sky curtain, which they regarded as the safest line of defense, suddenly rose into the sky. The headquarters was about to be exposed. At this moment, the bell flew up and the river flowed backward. In the river, some experts made their moves. Their spiritual energy swept out, causing the river water to be lifted up and evaporated. The original river disappeared, revealing a circular area. The buildings inside were complete, and they were actually modern. A Chinese martial artist? At this moment, an expert shouted loudly, "Scatter and run!" These people's reactions were also extremely fast. When they sensed the auras of countless experts, some of them did not say anything and immediately fled. Run! At this moment, Tian Mu punched through the air, blasting a rank 7 powerhouse's flesh into pieces. He roared, "Kill! Kill!" A chorus of roars rang out. Close to 100 high-rank powerhouses charged in from all directions. At this time, Fong Ping in front was already fighting with a rank 9 powerhouse. With a slash, the other party was sent flying backward. Fong Ping, the rank 9 powerhouse who was fighting with him, seemed to recognize Fong Ping. He roared, "Fong Ping, do you really want to be an enemy of the divine sect?" "Ridiculous!" Fong Ping laughed loudly. His figure was like a phantom, suddenly breaking through the air and slashing a rank 7 martial artist in half with one slash. Looking at the rank 9 from afar, he looked around and laughed loudly. Only 4 rank 9s? The Great Pope, that useless piece of trash, actually hid such a trump card after so many years? At this moment, the 4 evil sect rank 9s gathered together. They looked at Fong Ping. In front, a middle-aged powerhouse shouted angrily, "Fong Ping, the divine sect has withdrawn from Sino Nation. The martial artists who tried to kill you in the past are all dead. Everyone just has a different ideology. Do you want to kill them all?" At this time, everyone's hearts were palpitating. A lot of people came from Sino Nation. There were close to 100 high-rank ones. There were even 2 rank 9 monsters. One was currently sealing the area in the air, and the other had actually burrowed into the ground. Although it had not appeared yet, they could already sense the rank 9 monster's chi. Sino Nation had actually subdued a rank 9 monster. The leaders shouted quickly, Fong Ping, do you want to fight to the death? The divine sect powerhouses are all here. Once we fight, don't think you'll have it easy. Even if we can't win, we'll still bite a piece of you. 4 rank 9s, 8 rank 8s, more than 10 rank 7s. This was the strength of the evil sect headquarters. Very strong, close to 30 high-rank powerhouses was already extremely rare. Not to mention the 9 high elders from before, including the many fallen high-ranked ones. There were close to 100 evil sect high-ranked powerhouses in total. A number like this was already extremely high. Fong Ping ignored the person. He looked at Su Bing and said in a low voice, Old Su, are there any acquaintances? The big pope was most likely an old antique. Among the rank 9s here today, were there rank 9s from that era? Su Bing glanced at the 4 rank 9s opposite him, 3 men and 1 woman. After looking for a while, he suddenly said, I'm not familiar, but there seems to be some shadow of the god and devil period. As soon as he said that, the middle-aged man opposite him suddenly shouted, Who are you? Su Bing of Xian Ming Ming. Bastard. The middle-aged man roared angrily, his voice cold and harsh. He bellowed, How dare the Grandmasters surrender to human martial artists? You all deserve to die. You're the ones who deserve to die. Fong Ping rebuked angrily. He suddenly charged out, shouting, Kill the others and capture this person alive. This middle-aged man was from the apotheosis period. Void piercing. This time, Fong Ping's strength erupted to the extreme. With a slash, the void shattered and cracks appeared. A huge space battlefield appeared abruptly. At this time, the others attacked one after another. This time, it was no longer an independent space battlefield. Just like the Battle of the Pinnacle that day, in the void, a huge black crack appeared, and a complete space battlefield enveloped everyone. In this short moment, mountains collapsed, and the ground cracked in the periphery. The snow mountain collapsed. In the blink of an eye, many high-rank powerhouses entered the space rift one after another. Some evil sect rank 7s were swept in, and as soon as they entered, they were strangled on the spot. Seeing this, the middle-aged man shouted, Those below Golden Body cannot enter. The space battlefield was not a place that anyone could enter. In the Catacombs battlefield, even rank 9s could not enter. In the human battlefield, without a golden body, once they entered, they would be strangled by the cracks at the mouth of the rift. As soon as he finished speaking, the middle-aged man roared. His body suddenly expanded, becoming more than 10 meters tall. A huge Chongdao appeared in his hand, and he said sternly, You all really want to kill us all? You talk too much. Fong Ping slashed out the space battlefield earlier. At this moment, he directly unleashed his golden body, vitality rising. Above his head, a vitality light beam pierced through the void, even condensing into an illusion in the air. Just like the illusion condensed in the pinnacle that day, standing proudly in the void, vitality surging. Kill! The sound of killing rose in the blink of an eye. In the space battlefield, the rank 9s began to fight one after another. Some rank 8 powerhouses also rushed into the battlefield, killing rapidly. Outside the rift, dozens of rank 17 powerhouses began to surround and kill the evil sect rank 7s who were fleeing in all directions. At the bottom of the lake, some middle and low-rank martial artists also began to run for their lives, terrified. Seeing this, Zhang Yu, CLA, and a few other MCMEU's top-rank XS saw the situation, their eyes glinting fiercely. Holding weapons, they rushed over quickly. Bringing the middle-ranked martial artists to participate in the battle was hoping that these people could break through in the battle and become grandmaster powerhouses. Everyone understood what Fong Ping meant. The Heaven Division rank SIXS were not too far away from rank 7. In this kind of situation, it was not impossible to break through the realm directly when they were bathed in blood and killing, the accumulation of invincible momentum, unity of essence, spirit, and soul. Everyone did not waste any time, and in the blink of an eye, they were fighting together. Ah! Screams rose instantly. Some evil sect martial artists roared fiercely, "Self-destruct! We have no way out! Kill them! Perish together! The High Pope will save us! As long as the divine sect is not destroyed, the dead will come back to life." Some people roared furiously, their eyes bloodshot. In the blink of an eye, a few middle-ranked martial artists went crazy, rushing to the front and self-destructed on the spot with a loud bang. In the crowd, Su Bing had already been swept into the space battlefield. But Zhu Suo did not. At this moment, Zhu Suo, who was just about to enter the battlefield, saw this scene and frowned slightly. The human world had indeed become a purgatory. They were all lunatics. The evil sect people were lunatics, and so were the others. Self-destruction seemed to have become a common occurrence. In the past, unless it was the last moment of life. Otherwise, even ants would try to live, let alone these martial artists. As he was thinking, in the rift, Fong Ping, an old manly, roared. A saber and a sword directly pierced through a rank 9, dismembering one of them on the spot. The divine sect lives forever. Even though this person was dismembered on the spot, he still shouted fiercely, mentality condensing in an instant. In the blink of an eye, a loud bang was heard. The black rift trembled for a moment, but quickly returned to normal. That middle-aged man, on the other hand, took this opportunity to send Chun-Chi flying with a saber, leaping out of the rift in the blink of an eye. Outside the rift, Zhu Suo glanced at him. The other party also saw Zhu Suo, shouting, "Bone-melting saint, are you going to stop me?" Zhu Suo was stunned. In this instant, the other party broke through the air, fleeing toward the periphery directly. In the air, the phoenix spirit flapped its wings, as if hesitating, not attacking. At this moment, Fong Ping's cold voice was heard. As expected, only our own people can be trusted. Outside, Zhu saw the phoenix spirit and the gopher were all there. However, the middle-aged man escaped, and none of the 3 rank 9s attacked. Although he had expected this, Fong Ping was still disappointed. These people could only be used, never trusted. "Want to run? Ask me." "Fong Ping, do you really think you can defeat me?" Just as the middle-aged man was about to escape, Fong Ping's combat boots flashed with golden light, already blocking in front of him. "If you run, you will die. Surrender, and I'll give you a chance to live." Arrogant. Before the other party finished speaking, Fong Ping's saber had already slashed through the void. Li Jun's void-piercing sword technique might not be suitable for Fong Ping, but the core of Li Jun's sword technique was still killing. With enough killing intent, it could also unleash some of its power. The other party was also holding a broadsword. With a roar, he quickly engaged Fong Ping in close combat. The other party was also a powerhouse of the origin path. As the two of them fought, black rifts appeared, rapidly cutting both of their golden bodies. This time, both of them did not enter the space battlefield again. Fong Ping shouted, "Gopher, protect the people below, or else I'll send you to hell." It was fine if the two monsters were unwilling to fight a rank 9, but if they dared to be perfunctory, Fong Ping decided to kill them directly to make divine weapons. As soon as he said that, below, a large rat squeaked, quickly releasing mentality, blocking the aftermath of the fight between the two. In the air, the phoenix spirit flapped its wings, knocking some of the escaping martial artists back one after another. Seeing this, Zhu Suo did not attack, staring at the middle-aged martial artist. The other party knew her. She rarely left Mystic Heaven. Of course, a rank 9 powerhouse, even in that era, was not dispensable. If the other party was well informed, it was not surprising that he knew her. However, he recognized her at a glance. Maybe they had met before. Who is it? Zhu Suo was deep in thought. At the same time, outside, Butoya's gaze was solemn, shocked. So powerful. Fong Ping can actually fight with an origin path. Not only did the other party not fall into a disadvantage when fighting with an origin path powerhouse, but he also had the upper hand. This kind of ability was even stronger than what they expected. Stronger than what the rumors said. It was not just Butoya, At the moment when the battle between both sides broke out, there were some unusual movements everywhere. In the ancient Buddha Holy Land, the old monks seemed to be watching the battle, deep in thought. In other places, some rank 9 powerhouses sensed the movement of the battle. Some of them used flight step and came over directly. Some of them also released their mentality and began to investigate. It was not far from where they were fighting. In the void, a faint crack appeared. A weak wave of mentality probed out. Just as this weak wave of mentality probed out, another even weaker wave of mentality penetrated through the crack. High up in the sky, in a crack, Zhang Tao's eyes were cold. He said lightly, "Another Grandmaster. How dare you? How dare you show yourself at this time?" Beside him, Li Jin said, "How's their ability? These so-called emperors don't seem that strong. They are about the same as Mystic Heaven. Their vitality should be around 800,000 calories. Have they not recovered from their injuries? It's possible. Of course, it's also possible that they are separated by space. I can't see clearly," Zhang Tao said in a low voice. "Let's not care about this for now. Let's see what they do. This is good. Let them wake up. Otherwise, I'm really worried that these people won't wake up when the time comes. They won't know what happened, and we won't be able to fish them out." Li Jun looked at him and said, "You let Heaven Division fight everywhere. Are you also hoping that they can attract the attention of these old antiques and wake up from their slumber? Part of the reason. What if there are still places that we haven't discovered? At that time, if we really leave and an Emperor-level master appears and sweeps through our rear, then the gains will not make up for the losses." "No worries. I'm prepared," Zhang Tao said and looked at the cat below. He smiled and said, "What do you think about keeping it?" "It's not reliable," Li Jin said bluntly. "If they kept an unreliable cat, if a powerhouse attacked, the cat might not help. If that happened, it would be a huge problem. Look again. If it doesn't work, I'll think of a way to keep you here." As he spoke, Zhang Tao suddenly looked at the giant bell in the distance. His eyes flickered. "It's very powerful. If we use this to block the crack, it might work. But we need to modify it a little. That's that cat's," Li Jin reminded. Zhang Tao smiled. "Buy it? I'll buy it with 10,000 bags of cat food. Do you think it's possible?" Li Jin wanted to say that it was not possible, but on second thought, that might not be the case. Without dwelling on this, Li Jun quickly said, "Does the Pope have any clues?" He didn't appear. It's very likely that he has left Earth or is hiding in sky beyond heaven. The people here might not know anything. Otherwise, he wouldn't have given up so easily. What is the Pope trying to do? It's reasonable to say that he sacrificed all living beings to open the passage. But at this time, there is no need for that. But he still did not disband the cult and continues to be active. What is his goal? Zhang Tao pondered for a moment. He said slowly, "Who knows? These people are very active now. It might be related to the impending destruction of the heavenly realm, but they might also have other goals." Zhang Tao said, and thought for a moment. He said in a low voice, "I'm actually thinking about a problem. Who spread the news that chaos will happen in this era? That these powerhouses have all chosen to sleep? In my opinion, even if they are heavily injured, there is no reason for them to wake up at this time. On the contrary, it's not right for them to wake up at this time. Did someone injure them to the point where they have no choice but to wake up now? Or did someone tell them that waking up now is the best time? 1,000 years ago, they were about to wake up," Li Jin added. "But they still failed. Unquestionable Sword took action and delayed them from appearing 1,000 years ago to this era. I'm still thinking, why did Unquestionable Sword do this? Is he certain that someone in this era can solve all of this? They're all waiting," Zhang Tao said with a deep gaze. "They're all waiting. Waiting for what? Everyone is waiting for an opportunity. I don't think it's the so-called opportunity to become an emperor. They're waiting. Is the emperor really dead? Are they also waiting? Such a scheme to gather everyone in this era. I feel that it's more like the emperor's doing. If they weren't emperors, would these so-called great emperors have the ability to do so? The emperor doesn't appear. He disappeared. He disappeared for nearly 10,000 years. Then in these 10,000 years, the emperor didn't appear. Who is maintaining this balance? Who is secretly making the situation develop according to what they want it to develop? There's also a large hand that covers everything and controls everything. And your ancestor, heavenly king, subduing, might be one of the people responsible for maintaining the balance. Li Jun's heart stirred. He said in a low voice, "You mean that the ancestor is actually the emperor's doing, to maintain the situation develop according to their needs? Isn't it? Have you forgotten why humans could survive in the Jinqing era? Without heavenly king subduing, could humans really resist the catacombs then? Not to mention then, even now, if not for heavenly king subduing's deterrence to the catacombs, I'm afraid a war would have broken out long ago." Zhang Tao chuckled. So, heavenly king subduing is very likely a balancer, balancing the strength of the catacombs and humans, making the catacombs unable to attack the human world on a large scale, making the powerhouses wary. Humans have such balancers, and I suspect the catacombs have them too. I'm actually thinking, is King Qian also a balancer? You know, King Qian has never appeared. It's said that he once fought with heavenly king subduing. In the end, he seemed to be slightly weaker, but they were evenly matched. In the end, he disappeared and has not appeared for many years. If he really wanted to tangle with heavenly king subduing, perhaps the war between the two worlds would have broken out that year. But he didn't. What kind of role did this person play? Balancer, Li Jun said with a headache. According to what you said, unquestionable sword might be one too. Maybe 1,000 years ago, it wasn't a time of great chaos, but it was about to break out, so unquestionable sword made a move and balanced the situation. That's possible, but I think unquestionable sword still fell for it. Maybe his original intention was to overturn the chessboard, but in the end, he still fell into someone else's trap. Maybe him killing powerhouses from all sides was what the people in the dark wanted to see. Some unstable factors were eliminated, and time was delayed until now. And now is the era that everyone wants to see. Li Jun frowned and said, "Who can do all this? If it's a sovereign, why would they do all this? What are they trying to do?" Zhang Tao said self-deprecatingly, "I don't know about this. Also, I'm thinking about something. Could Li Zhu be one of them?" "What? Didn't you notice that Li Zhu is also balancing?" Zhang Tao said lightly. "He is also balancing the forces of all sides. He is weakening the forces of all sides. He might also be one of the balancers that I mentioned." Li Zhun's headache grew. After a long time, he said, "Ignore them. We can't do anything about it." Zhang Tao nodded quietly. Yes, they could not do anything about it. The balancers that he guessed, did they really exist? Heavenly King subduing and the others. Why did they insist on delaying time until now? What were they waiting for? Were they waiting for people or things? Was it a coincidence that Wang Jinyang and the others appeared one after another in this life? Or was it inevitable? What's the opportunity for your revival? Zhang Tao looked down, deep in thought. Kill. The sounds of killing intensified. Tian Mu punched a rank 9 powerhouse until his golden body cracked. Bai Gong Yin charged, spear in hand, and pierced the other party's skull. On the other side, Su Bing, Old Man Li, and Chun Shi joined forces to kill a Origin's powerhouse, but the other party's golden body was also shattered, and he roared continuously. Outside the battlefield, Fang Ping and the middle-aged martial artist were fighting in close combat. Both of their bodies were broken, and the more they fought, the fiercer it became. Even further down, Chen Yunxi and the others were bathed in blood, killing until blood flowed like a river. Almost 1,000 evil sect martial artists were killed, and more than half were killed. At this moment, corpses were everywhere. Still not surrendering, Fang Ping let out a cold roar, chopping off the other party's arm with one slash, letting the other party slash his head. Golden light flickered for a while, and the skull injury healed rapidly. "Surrender. Tell me everything, and I'll spare your life." Wishful thinking, the middle-aged martial artist bellowed, turning his head, about to break through the air and leave. In the air, a crack appeared, and the other party appeared a few hundred meters away in the blink of an eye. The magical effect of Origin's Tao. He had just appeared a few hundred meters away when Fong Ping caught up with him in the blink of an eye. Stubborn fool! Fong Ping let out a low roar, one hand clawing through space, his palms separated from his body. In the blink of an eye, he grabbed the other party's throat. A crisp crack. He crushed the other party's throat directly. The middle-aged martial artist's expression changed drastically. His saber slashed down, turning Fong Ping's palm into a bloody mess. His injury recovered in the blink of an eye, though. At this moment, a golden house came crashing down. This time it was not a cover, but a direct suppression. Thunder rumbled, and cracks appeared in space from the impact. The middle-aged man raised his saber and was about to slash. At this moment, his eyes moved suddenly, and in the blink of an eye, he broke through space, heading straight for the crowd below. Fong Ping's eyes were cold, and he chased after him quickly. The golden house appeared in the other party's path in the blink of an eye. However, the other party broke through space again and again, avoiding the golden house. "Who do you want to kill?" Fong Ping asked suddenly. The middle-aged man sneered, breaking through the obstruction in the blink of an eye, heading straight for the rank 6 martial artists. His target, Chun Yinshi. Fong Ping's gaze was cold and fierce. He did not ask any more, roaring, "Gophers!" Below, the gophers squeaked, but there was nothing they could do. They broke through space, blocking the other party. "Who told you to kill her?" Fong Ping appeared in front of him quickly, his gaze unfriendly. "Did you receive an order from the Pope?" "Who is the Pope? He seems to know me very well." The middle-aged man did not say a word, fighting the gophers with all his might. "You've angered me. I wanted to spare your life, but now you're going to die." At this moment, the original golden house suddenly changed. In the blink of an eye, a golden greatsword appeared. The Chongdao in Fong Ping's hand absorbed the golden greatsword instantly, turning golden. "Destroy!" A loud roar mixed with a powerful mentality bombardment. Countless imperishable substances exploded, scaring the gophers into running away. The middle-aged man's expression changed drastically. Just as he was about to escape, he suddenly realized that the surrounding space was fixed and locked. "Impossible! Idiot!" Fong Ping sneered. "Do you really think that I've only learned a little about the void-piercing swordsmanship during these few days of closed-door cultivation? Die!" The other party raised his saber to block, but the golden light on Fong Ping's body was blinding like the next day, illuminating the entire mountain range in a golden color. Rumble! An explosion sounded, and the other party's Chongdao was shattered. A scream was heard, and in the blink of an eye, the golden body was shattered. A powerful mentality was just about to escape when the golden house appeared again, covering the other party. Rumble! The mentality crashed into the golden house, trying to escape, but Fong Ping sneered. "Try self-destructing. If you don't, I'll let you taste the pain of having your mentality burned." "The Pope. Maybe I know him. I'd like to see who can hide from me." In the golden house, the mentality was still crashing. The middle-aged man's appearance appeared, his face pale and desperate. He continued to crash into the golden house, trying to escape. This was the first time Fong Ping captured a rank 9 powerhouse's mentality alive. Fong Ping ignored him, turning his head to look at the rope, a ferocious smile on his face. Even when the middle-aged man was attacking rank 6 below, the rope did not budge. Although he did not expect this old witch to kill the enemy, she was completely indifferent. Just wait and see. Fong Ping, was not someone with a big heart. The rope felt a chill run down its spine when he stared at it. This person was so strong. He seemed even stronger than before. "Kill them all? Don't leave any alive!" Fong Ping suddenly shouted. There was no need to leave any alive. Among everyone present, perhaps only this middle-aged man knew something. As soon as his voice fell, Zhang Yu and the rest, who had captured a large number of evil sect martial artists below, exchanged glances. Suddenly, their expressions turned grim, and they attacked one after another, killing the martial artists who surrendered on the spot. "Fong Ping, In the golden house, the middle-aged man saw this too. He screamed shrilly, "If you do this, you'll be punished by heaven." "Idiot! Heaven? Is there still a heaven in this world? We are our own heaven." Following his words, in the space battlefield, Old Man Lee killed a rank 9 completely with 3 consecutive slashes. Tian Mu also let out a low roar, throwing a few punches, blowing up the last rank 9 golden body. The few of them had no intention of leaving any survivors. They attacked one after another, annihilating the other party's mentality. When the few evil sect rank 8 powerhouses saw this scene, their faces were filled with despair. In the blink of an eye, the sound of self-destruction rang throughout the space battlefield. The divine sect is not destroyed, reborn from the ashes. His crazed voice reverberated throughout the entire space. Fong Ping sneered. Rank 8 and 9 are so easily bewitched. Their deaths are not to be regretted. Reborn from the ashes? Even if they're reborn, they're still useless. Everyone attack. Kill all the evil sect members. Wipe out the evil sect. As soon as he finished speaking, Fong Ping roared, "Grand Pope, you're only fit to be a rat. No, you're worse than a rat." Before he could finish, someone said with a faint smile, "Stronger than a rat. Faster than a rat. We didn't catch him. It'll happen sooner or later. Don't worry." "I'm not worried." Fong Ping chuckled, turning his gaze to the wildcat. The wildcat shuddered. "Don't look at me. I didn't see anything. I just sensed something. Don't ask me. It's useless even if you ask." Fong Ping burst out laughing again. Looking at the corpses strewn all over the ground, he muttered to himself. Chapter 881. The great battle came to an end quickly. The people below began to count the spoils of war. Fong Ping stepped on the blood-red ground. Now that it was mixed with the river water, the blood spread even wider, dyeing the surrounding area red. In the distance, the mountains collapsed and the ground cracked. The avalanche was still spreading. Casually grabbing a blood-stained document in his hand, Fong Ping swept a glance at it. He looked at the spirit entity that was still colliding in the House of Gold. He said mildly, "You've done a good job with your charity work. You've even opened orphanages all over the world. Honestly speaking, you've been wronged if I call you a cult." The middle-aged man continued to collide. He did not reply or self-destruct. This kind of person was more afraid of death than the average person unless it was a matter of life and death. Fong Ping did not say much. He threw the document to Beigong Hai and said, "Inform the various governments. Try to be as safe as possible and eliminate all these people. Don't force the Heavenly Department to enforce the law across borders." Fong Ping knew the evil sect's purpose of opening an orphanage. Fong Ping continued to search while saying, "The evil sect has been around for many years and has trained many people. Now it seems that some of them have infiltrated some of the core ranks. Hand over the list of core ranks, and I'll consider torturing you less." "Dream on. You're asking for it?" Fong Ping did not say much. In the golden house, his mentality suddenly turned into mentality fire, burning the middle-aged martial artist spirit. "Ah!" A scream rang out instantly. Fong Ping grinned hideously. He suddenly looked at the people around him and said, "Do I look like a villain?" Zhang Yu smiled as he packed his things. "A little. Usually villains will be turned around at this time. When powerhouses come to help, they'll beat me up. I just want to know now, do those hidden powerhouses dare to come?" Fong Ping suddenly laughed heartily. "I'm right here. Dare to come? A bunch of old and immortal trash. Come here. Minister Zhang, you guys leave. I'll see if they dare to show up." "All right, they won't dare to come." A faint laugh came from the void. Zhang Tao said mildly, "It's fine if they sneak around, but they won't have the guts to fight." "That's true." Fong Ping shook his head and sighed. "The evil sect is too weak. I don't feel anything when I kill them. That useless pope has been working for so many years and only has this trump card. Is it useful?" No one answered. Fong Ping continued to wander on top of the pile of corpses, saying mildly, "The evil sects are nothing to worry about. I wonder if some of the grandmasters have seen it. Now that you've seen it, You'd better be more obedient and cooperate if you need to. Otherwise, you'll end up like an evil sect. Someone will be able to see it. Zhang Tao replied again, and then said, I'll go first, you finish up by yourself. All right. There was no sound in the void. Fong Ping did not know whether old Zhang had left or not. He was not too concerned about this. Meanwhile, not far away from this place, the void trembled slightly. In a place that looked like a celestial realm, birds were chirping and flowers were fragrant. Some fairy-like women were picking fruits and flowers. In the next moment, space trembled. Birds and beasts were frightened and fled in all directions. You don't welcome me? Zhang Tao stepped on his military boots and tore through the void, stepping out. Like a teacher, he looked around with his hands behind his back and said with a faint smile, This place is not bad. It wouldn't be an exaggeration to call it the celestial realm. In the next moment, a female figure appeared in the void. The woman was furious. Her eyes were cold and vigilant. Who are you? Still pretending? Zhang Tao was less than 100 meters away from the other party. His expression did not change as he said calmly, Zhang Tao has some reputation. The Heavenly Department is enforcing the law, and the Empress is spying. Does this mean that you might know the Grand Pope? I don't know. Don't know? Zhang Tao laughed. I don't like to destroy flowers. What a beautiful scene. I'm a vulgar person. Once I use force, it'll ruin the scenery. What do you want? Tell me, who is the Grand Pope? Also, Zhang Tao looked around and laughed. There's still a true God alive. Fine, let the true God go out and join the Heavenly Department. He'll be in charge of suppressing the other disobedient fellows. Arrogant, Empress Wu Mo yelled. Arrogant. This person had entered the Outland and treated her like she was nothing. Did he really think that he could suppress the heavens? I said, Don't force me. I'm an easygoing person. You can go and ask. There are many people who scold me. I still have some ability to turn things around. I don't like to fight if I can. Zhang Tao laughed. I don't mind even if you scold me. Cut the crap. Send the true gods and 3 rank 9s. The rest are up to you. As for you, hide if you want. Having said that, he added, This Outland is not bad. I've taken a look. It seems to be made of a special material. It's not affected by the spatial rifts. I know what you're thinking. This is your home field. Heavens Beyond is your divine weapon. Here, you can control Heavens Beyond. However, as Zhang Tao said that, he punched out. Lightning flattened the ground. The Outland that even the spatial rifts could not cut suddenly shook. A black rift appeared in the sky. Empress Wu Mo's face was livid. Zhang Tao said calmly, That's it? Stop me? I just don't want to be ruthless. Otherwise, I would have punched through this thing. Consider yourself unlucky. You dare to use your mentality to probe under my nose. You're asking for it. I don't want to initiate a fight against mythical figures like you. But that doesn't mean I can't. Listen to me. It's easy. If you don't, then I won't be able to talk to you either. Don't force me to kill an old antique. Mythical figures will shock everyone. You're too confident. Empress Wu Mo was like a 1,000-armed guanyin. Suddenly, many arms appeared behind her, holding various divine weapons. She looked at Zhang Tao coldly. 3 heads and 6 arms? Where's the head? Come, make a few more heads. I don't like the look of it. I'll cut them off for you. As soon as he said that, Zhang Tao took a step forward. As if teleporting, he appeared in front of the Empress in the blink of an eye. He grabbed one of her arms and broke it with a crack. What the hell? That's it? Zhang Tao broke the arm and let Empress Wu Mo escape 1,000 meters away. He looked at the arm in his hand and shook his head. Too weak. You probably advanced to rank 9 from the early stage of 7th refinement golden body. At rank 9, you forged your golden body to peak 7th refinement. The origin path is also a path. It's not 10,000 meters, but about 8,000 meters. Can you be called an emperor? Zhang Tao said doubtfully. The emperors you speak of don't feel that strong. What's going on? The origin path is less than 10,000 meters. It's not short. 8,000 meters is not bad. Your foundation is okay. About 300,000 calories, That's about 840,000 calories. That's not a titled rank, right? In the distance, Wu Mo's expression changed. She said slowly, "We're just injured and haven't recovered. Years ago, a powerhouse ambushed us and broke our golden bodies. The newly forged golden bodies are not as good as before. Or else what? So what if you have a vitality of 1 million cal?" Zhang Tao sneered. "But I'm interested in the person who ambushed you. Who is it? Unquestionable sword? I don't think so. You grandmasters who are hiding on Earth, unquestionable sword should not be too harsh on you. So, it's someone else? I think I know who is capable of that on Earth." Zhang Tao said impatiently. "How do we choose?" I said we'll work together. I didn't ask you to come out. You old witch. Don't push me. This is the last chance. Cherish it. You're so overbearing. Aren't you afraid that we won't be willing? What are you afraid of?" Zhang Tao chuckled. "You can try. See if you can ambush me like how you ambushed Unquestionable Sword. I may not be as strong as Unquestionable Sword, but I'm more ruthless than him. He has many concerns. He wants revenge, but he's hesitant, and he has to be influenced by his sect. He's afraid of implicating his sect, and he has to betray his sect before doing anything. No matter how strong he is, he has his flaws. Years ago, he was ambushed at Purple Cap Mountain, probably because his sect was in danger. Do you think I will? I prefer the title of Snake King. You might want to see how it feels to have a venomous snake with Emperor-level strength stare at you day and night. Wu Mo. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you do, then make your choice. I, Zhang Tao, am not Unquestionable Sword. He has respect for some old farts, but I don't. I rose up in the neo-martial arts. I have no gratitude for people like you. Don't push me." Empress Wu Mo's expression kept changing. She said slowly, "Zhang Tao, don't try to be mysterious. You walk the path of human emperor and kill everyone in the human world. You will also die. Your flaws are more obvious than Unquestionable Sword." "Yes." Zhang Tao smiled. "You're right. This is my flaw. It's obvious. So what? Do you think it's faster for me to kill you or for you to kill the humans? I can try. Besides, do you really think I'm unprepared? Humans won't die, but I won't. I've hidden a few people. At least I'll give myself a chance to live. If you destroy Earth, I'll also have the power to fight one last time. Killing you guys isn't a big problem." Wu Mo's expression did not change, but she did not reply. Zhang Tao was a little impatient. His eyes suddenly turned ferocious and his aura erupted, creating many black cracks. "Looks like you're very confident that I won't dare to kill you. Do you think I'm too easy to talk to?" Crack. As he spoke, Zhang Tao teleported again. His palm took the shape of an eagle's claw and grabbed the other party's arm, breaking it instantly. "You haven't recovered to your peak. Then be obedient. Looks like the person who hurt you knows when to stop. He'll need at least 1 or 2 years to recover to his peak. Interesting, this person is stronger than me now." As Zhang Tao spoke, Empress Wu Mo teleported again. She did not retaliate, but her expression was grim. Very strong. The other party truly had emperor-level strength. As for them, although they were still called great emperors, they had not recovered to their peak yet. They were slightly weaker than emperor level. "What do you want?" Wu Mo asked coldly. Zhang Tao could not help but laugh. He said lightly, "It's always the same. You don't learn from your mistakes. It's simple. Didn't I tell you? The true gods will come out. At least 3 rank 9s will join the Heaven Division and fight." As for the true god, as Zhang Tao spoke, his figure suddenly moved. The next moment, an explosion erupted from below. Empress Wu Mo's expression kept changing, but she did not intervene. After a while, Zhang Tao carried a figure in his hand. It was also a female. At this moment, Zhang Tao was holding the other party in his hand like he was holding a chicken. He laughed and said, "Listen to me. There are not many humans who are at the peak of female power. When you go to the Heaven Division, be obedient. I'm not asking you to risk your life. Make a statement. Even the true gods of Grandmaster have to risk their lives to survive." As he spoke, he lowered his head and looked at the indignant female, true god in his hand. He raised his eyebrows and said, "You're not convinced? Fine. I'll give you a chance." Having said that, he tossed her casually. The other party crashed into the space and exploded. She staggered and flew to Wu Mo's side. "Both of you, come at me together. Come, I'll try beating you up with one hand." Zhang Tao was extremely savage. He laughed and said, "Seeing that you're women, I'll give you some face. I'm a person who has tender and protective feelings for the fair sex. Look at Fong Ping. He's cruel and merciless. Can he beat a female martial artist like that? Can he simply punch a hole in someone's chest? Wouldn't it be better if you just burst someone's head with one punch? Why do you have to make it ugly even if you beat them to death? Look at me. I've beaten female true kings to death too. Other than the fact that they don't have heads, their bodies are perfectly preserved. When they live in their next life, they might still have a good body. They won't be flattened." As soon as he said that, the faces of the two opposite him turned ashen. At this moment, Zhang Tao still had the time to look at the watch in his hand. He glanced at it and said, "It's almost lunchtime. I still have to rush back to eat. Both of you 1 minute. 1 minute later, I'll be ruthlessly destroying a flower." Wu Mo said in a low voice, "The Fong Ping you're talking about, the one outside." "That's right. He's in charge of the Heaven Division." "That's right. He's just a golden body martial artist. What right does he have to have a true god follow him?" Wu Mo's tone was icy. This was the reason why she did not say anything. If it was to follow Zhang Tao, she might have agreed earlier. Beside her, the female true god also scolded, "He's just a golden body martial artist. How dare you ask me to follow him? What a joke. Just a golden body?" Zhang Tao rubbed his chin and laughed. "I've already said that he's narrow-minded and doesn't have tender feelings for the fair sex. If I were to pass on your words, he would probably beat you to death when he's at his peak. This fellow is really narrow-minded. Are you sure you want to offend him now?" "Humph!" The female true god snorted coldly, looking indifferent. How could a mere golden body become a true god so easily? Wu Mo suddenly said, "He's already at the 8th refinement of the golden body. Didn't you see it?" Zhang Tao said playfully, "What do you think?" Wu Mo said lightly, "It's still the 9th refinement of the golden body. If he's at the 9th refinement of the golden body, there's no harm in Mu Yin following him." 9th refinement of the golden body? Zhang Tao smiled. "I'm a little curious. Did the 9th refinement of the golden body exist in your era?" Wu Mo said nothing. "Don't tell me there isn't? Or is it that only a very small number of people can? For example, those who walk the extreme path of the physique? You know about the extreme path?" Zhang Tao said indifferently. "Are these considered secrets? It's just the extreme path. I'm not willing to walk it." Enough nonsense. The 9th refinement of the golden body might be difficult for the average person, but it's not too difficult for him. "Ridiculous. Ignorant." Wu Mo sneered. "Do you know what the 9th refinement of the golden body means?" The 9th refinement of the golden body is great accomplishment, known as undying and indestructible. The so-called indestructible golden body doesn't refer to the current golden body. The true indestructible golden body refers to the 9th refinement of the golden body. Similarly, the 9th refinement of the golden body corresponds to the 9th refinement of the spiritual consciousness. These people are the foundation of the extreme path. They're the powerhouses who walk the extreme path. Even sovereigns can't completely annihilate them. Even if they are killed, they will appear in this world again one day. Zhang Tao rubbed his chin and said with a smile, "Is that so? That's a little interesting." At this moment, he suddenly knew something. Without saying this, Zhang Tao said again, "1 minute is almost up. Have you thought it through? It doesn't matter whether the true gods go or not. But if you don't go, it's more or less not giving face. Everyone is someone who wants face. If you don't give me face, then I won't give you face." Wu Mo's face was livid. This is called giving face? You directly barged into heaven beyond heaven and attacked without saying a word. This is called giving face? After a long time, Wu Mo said coldly, letting Mu Yin go out is fine. This emperor wants to reopen the sect. Going to the Heaven Division is just a stopgap measure. When the sect reopens, Mu Yin needs to return. Reopening the sect is no problem. Follow the rules of Profound Heaven Sect. You'll know later. Zhang Tao agreed readily. But Mu Yin said coldly, this seat won't show up. Golden Body Realm martial artists don't have the qualifications to tell this seat what to do. Are you sure? Zhang Tao said with a smile. Showing your face is considered a comrade. Not showing your face, then it doesn't count. Don't expect anyone to remember the favor. Humph! Mu Yin snorted coldly. Remember the favor? Did she need it? Up to you. Zhang Tao stretched his back and said with a smile, look, it's simple now. Let's do it this way. This Zhang will take his leave first. Done talking. Zhang Tao disappeared in an instant. As soon as he left, the two looked at each other. Then Wu Mo suddenly snorted coldly, his face showing displeasure. In Heaven Beyond Heaven, that 100-flower garden actually disappeared. That was all kinds of natural treasures that she had collected over countless years. Of course, to her, it was more important to admire it. But now it was gone. Just now, when Zhang Tao went down to capture Mu Yin, he conveniently took her away. She did not pay much attention, only watching Mu Yin being captured. Mu Yin also saw this scene, her tone cold, saying, Master, this person is so domineering. How can he cultivate the Emperor path? It's just specious. Wu Mo shook his head. The other party did not cultivate the pure Emperor path. It was just similar, but very powerful. At least before her strength fully recovered, she was not the other party's opponent. All right, you coming out of Heaven Beyond Heaven. The timing is just right. Even if he doesn't come, Master is also prepared to let you come out. Wu Mo said, then said, do things in secret. Don't get into conflict with the human world martial artist for now. Having said that, his gaze deepened, saying, that Fong Ping, 8 refinements of golden body. You keep an eye on whether someone is secretly manipulating it. In the neo-martial era, there shouldn't be an 8 refinements of golden body. Wu Mo said the words neo-martial era smoothly. Obviously, he was not ignorant. As he said that, Wu Mo frowned slightly and said, Fong Ping. The other one is also 8 refinements of golden body, but he's walking the extreme path, so it's not surprising. As for Fong Ping, he's not walking the extreme path, but he can actually step into the 8 refinements. He might be an important chess piece. Both the North and South sects might have a plot. Master, who was behind the North and South sects back then? Mu Yin asked, a little puzzled. Even after so many years, she still could not think of who it was. I don't know. Wu Mo laughed. Some things don't need to be investigated. Keep an eye on Fong Ping. Maybe there will be some unexpected gains. Disciple understands. Mu Yin responded and quickly retreated. As soon as she left, Wu Mo looked at the black hole that was broken in the sky, frowning slightly. With a wave of his hand, the black hole disappeared. Zhang Tao, whose chess piece is he? Wu Mo murmured softly. He was so strong. Was he not afraid of going out of control? Or was there an arrangement long ago? These people are getting more and more reckless. The unquestionable sword in the past and Zhang Tao today have already gone out of control. Chaos is coming, and these chess pieces want to turn the tables. It's easy to backfire. Wu Mo frowned slightly, shaking his head, and quickly disappeared into the sky. The original site of the evil sect. Fong Ping's ears twitched slightly. Zhang Tao spoke telepathically. Don't bother about the Grandmaster at the side. When they come, just recruit them. Don't use them as humans. There's a deadly mission for them to handle. Kid, you have to have tender feelings for the fairer sex, but you also have to look at the person. They're a group of 1,000-year-old old witches. Don't be blinded by them. Fong Ping was speechless. I don't have that hobby. That's good. Be careful. There are more and more messy people gathering around you, including the old cat. As he said that, a big cat's ears twitched, its mouth clicking. You're the messy one. This cat is not. This cat is just here to watch the fun. Don't talk nonsense. Old Zhang suddenly sneered and continued. The old cat is still trustworthy. This cat is afraid of death. It won't dare to mess around. You have to be careful. The wind and clouds are gathering, and there are more and more people around you. What seems like a coincidence may not be a coincidence. Although I don't want to say it, I still have to remind you, Wang Jinyang and the others gathering around you may not be a coincidence. Whether it's fated or someone is pushing it, be careful. Back then, you were led by Wang Jinyang and stepped into martial arts. Now that I think about it, it may not be a coincidence, understand? Also, don't use some of your abilities. Someone is making a move. You may be an extremely important link. Fong Ping smiled and said telepathically, Minister, have you invested? Me? Maybe. Fong Ping knows that some things may not be a coincidence. Karma meets fate. I understand some things. However, the me now is not qualified to think about these things. I will become stronger as soon as possible and get out of this crisis. That's good. It's not appropriate for me to show up next. I've already intimidated Wuma. I think these old antiques may have a way to contact each other. It should spread quickly. You go to them. Force them to open their grotto heavens, recruit elites, and strengthen the heaven division. These people probably have the same idea. They want to reject, but they want to welcome. Don't be too courteous. If you don't force them, they may not have an excuse to come out. Again, don't use them as people. Treat them as weapons. Weapons that can hurt others as well as yourself. If they die, then they die. Don't feel sorry for them. Don't care if they live or die. Be ruthless to your own people. These people should have died long ago. If they die, then they die. Understood. After talking for a while, Zhang Tao left for real this time. Fong Ping continued to use mentality fire to burn the middle-aged martial artist's spirit body, suddenly looking at the cat, smiling. I won't ask anything else, just one thing. Have you ever felt the Grand Pope's aura on me? Even if it's just a little? The cat meowed, lowered its head, and continued to eat. Fong Ping saw this and laughed. A cat that's afraid of death. Does he have the ability to kill you? From the looks of it, he does, right? The cat said nothing. Fong Ping laughed again. It's okay. Most of the people who are close to me are here. Even if they're acquaintances, they're not too close. If he's killed, then he's dead. The next time we meet, find a chance to kill him. Meow. Don't pretend you didn't hear it. Does a cat have times when it's afraid? No wonder you've lived long enough to forget what you shouldn't say. If it were me, I'd like this kind of cat too. So pure, so smart. Who said you're a dumb cat? He's the idiot, right? Meow. I'm just a cat. The cat felt wronged. I don't know, don't ask me. I forgot Alzheimer's. Chapter 882. On the 28th of January, Fong Ping led the Heavenly Division and annihilated the cult headquarters. On that day, Wuji Tian swore that 3 rank 9 martial artists came to join him. They were all women, and they were as pretty as flowers in jade. In the end, he met a group of insensible fellows. Tian Mu did not know what was good for him. He said in front of them that he could fight 1 against 3 and skewer them. The few of them were so angry that their faces turned pale. Even though Fong Ping thought that these old demons looked pretty good when they turned pale, he did not stop Tian Mu. These rank 9s were rank 9s. Don't treat them like high grandmasters. But in this way, the 9th level Heaven Division battle strength reached a huge 12 people. Both possessed the strength of the Tao of Origin. Among the rank 9 martial artists from Grandmaster, there was no weak rank 9. If he was really too weak, he wouldn't have been worth protecting back then. On January 29th, Fong Ping led his team out again. He wasn't in a hurry to check his spoils of war. He didn't even have time to question the middle-aged martial artist. He continued to shove him into the Golden House and let him attack. This time, Fong Ping went to a Grandmaster. This heaven was called Guanming Duanjing Heaven. This was one of the sky beyond heaven that Su Bing knew of, within the borders of Dongyu Wu, on an unknown cliff. Su Bing looked around and said after a while, "From what I can see, Duan Jingdian should be here. Emperor Guanming is extremely powerful, but he is a domineering person." As he spoke, a powerhouse under Empress Wu Mo snorted coldly and said, Empress Guanming had a dispute with Heavenly Emperor Xian Ming in the past. I heard that the two great emperors had a conflict in the heaven realm. Su Bing, you're really good at finding. Of all places to look, he happened to find Emperor Guanming. Su Bing didn't mind. Fong Ping did not care. Regardless of whether there is a conflict or not, since we want to enter the world, we have to listen to the heaven division. Fong Ping was extremely arrogant. He shouted loudly, Heavenly Emperor Guanming. Since they were going to enter the world, they had to follow the laws of China and recruit origin realm cultivators into the heaven division. This was an order from the human emperor. If anyone disobeys, I will flatten the heavens. Fong Ping had a condescending look on his face. He was extremely savage. The eyes of Su Bing and the other powerhouses from the realm beyond heaven flickered. If the heavens want to kill a man, they will first make him mad. Now, the human martial artists like Run Huang and Fong Ping thought they were invincible. They conquered the heavens and were incomparably powerful. Which great emperor would be willing to accept this? Even if he didn't make a move now, these people would settle the score in the future. On that day, not many martial artists in the world would be able to survive. Although the other heavens had begun to compromise, they were only taking advantage of the situation and were just preparing to leave the mountain. Coupled with the fact that he had yet to fully recover from his injuries, it gave them the opportunity to be arrogant. These people will die sooner or later. At this moment, the few grandmasters had the same thought. Mu Yin, who was hiding in the dark, also sneered silently. The fake emperor believed himself to be invincible in the world. Even his disciples were so crazy. Now that he had offended so many great emperors, it was a good thing. When the day came to settle the score, every single one of them would try to escape. Although Fong Ping was shouting in the sky, he was also looking around. Looking at the gazes of these people, Zhang Xian sneered coldly. Waiting to settle the score in the future? Just wait and see. It would be fine if they behaved themselves in the future, but if they didn't, they would all be beaten to death. He was too lazy to care about what these people were thinking. Fong Ping shouted again, The Emperor's order. Will Heavenly Emperor accept it or not? In the void, someone said indifferently, The Emperor? There is no emperor in this world. Where will the emperor come from? Fong Ping said coldly, If there is an emperor in our hearts, then there will be an emperor. If everyone is united, the emperor will be invincible. If Heavenly Emperor is not convinced, you can try. Let's see if our Sino nation has the ability to wipe out Heavenly Emperor and kill him on the spot. Insolence! At this moment, a figure appeared. The newcomer wore a phoenix-winged helmet, golden cloud shoes on his feet, holding a golden spear in his hand, his face full of anger. He glared at Fong Ping and shouted sternly, How dare you? As soon as this person appeared, even if Su Bing and the others were not with him, they bowed and said, Greetings, Prince Hongji. They were still greeting, but in the next moment, Fong Ping had already made his move. Prince, this person was either a descendant of Heavenly Emperor or a direct disciple. Su Bing and the others could not compare. This kind of person was also arrogant. Fong Ping knew these people's personalities too well. Even Su Bing and the others looked down on humans, not to mention this kind of prince. He had to fight. It did not matter if he was beaten to death. Right now, he only needed to be responsible for what was below the peak. When it came to a desperate situation, there would naturally be someone to deal with him. This Prince Hongji was also a rank 9 origin powerhouse. However, Fong Ping was not afraid of him. How dare you? Hongji shouted. Nowadays, the martial artists in the human world were really bold. They actually took the initiative to attack him. Nonsense, you little turtle. Even if you empty the toilet bowl for Grandpa Fong, it would be a great honor for you. Fong Ping's body suddenly expanded, his golden body dazzling. He was not holding a broadsword in his hand. Instead, he held the golden house and smashed it down violently. The void collapsed from the impact, and a crack appeared. Hongji's expression changed slightly, but he was not afraid. He had entered Origin, and he was a direct disciple of a great emperor. Why would he be afraid of a rank 8 golden body martial artist? In the blink of an eye, Hongji moved his feet and appeared above Fong Ping's head in the blink of an eye, his long spear stabbing straight at his Bai Wei. The brain nucleus was here. Although the brain nucleus was a manifestation of the Sanjiao Gate, in reality, Bai Wei was connected to the brain nucleus. This was also a major weakness of martial artists. The long spear did not make a crack. With a tremble, it went straight for Fong Ping's Bai Wei. Fong Ping was also extremely fast. He waved the golden house and smashed it with a loud bang. Bang! A violent sound was heard. Fong Ping took a few steps back. Hongji's long spear deviated, the tip of the spear trembling slightly. He snorted coldly. You have some skills. No wonder you're so arrogant. However, an immortal object is still an external object after all. That's all there is to it. Fong Ping sneered. External object? Isn't an immortal object cultivated by martial artists? I'm only 21 years old. How old are you? Trash is trash. What's the use of living long? You're an antique that's thousands of years old. You should just die after cultivating to this stage. Why embarrass yourself? You're asking for it. Hongji was furious. With the long spear in his hand, he attacked quickly. One of them was holding a long spear, while the other was holding a golden house. They fought fiercely in the air. The mountains and rivers in the nearby area began to collapse. Tianmu and the rest did not attack. They guarded the nearby area to prevent the aftermath from spreading. Although this place was deserted, it did not mean that no one would come. How is this guy? Everyone discussed as they watched the battle. Beigong Yin asked. Tianmu chuckled. Average. His origin path is about 7 stages. However, according to what Fong Ping said, these antiques might have just been revived and are not used to intense battles. They have to go down a stage comparable to 6 stages of origin path. As for Fong Ping has changed a lot this time. I think his strength is about 5 to 6 stages. It's useless to talk about stages. Old Man Li said directly. It depends on outburst and strength control. I think we shouldn't judge based on how far one has gone on origin path in the future. Rank 9 mainly depends on the basic vitality, the depth of origin path, strength control, and combat technique proficiency. Starting from the weakest rank, 9, the basic 100,000 calories. Under normal circumstances, 70% control is equivalent to 70,000 calories vitality outburst. Old Man Li laughed. That's about it for the weakest rank 9. Those who are still weak are those who have just broken through. They can't be counted. 70,000 calories outburst is the weakest rank 9. The strongest, like Qi Huanyu from the catacombs, can outburst close to 400,000 calories. Of course, that's the theoretical limit. The gap between rank 9 is also huge. I think we should calculate it according to 30,000 calories per step. 70,000 calories is the weakest, 100,000 calories, 130,000 calories, 160,000 calories, to 400,000 calories. That's 12 steps. If Fong Ping outbursts now, I think he can at least reach 190,000 to 220,000 calories. That's already better than most rank 9s. As for this Hongji, he's more or less in this range. Everyone nodded slightly. The peak of outburst also represented a person's limit, including various combat techniques and strength control. Martial artists who could outburst to this peak would not be weak at this level. Using the peak of outburst to measure combat strength was actually more reliable than using how far one had gone on origin path. While everyone was talking, in the sky above, the two were already in a heated battle. Fong Ping directly used the golden house as a sword. His space-piercing swordsmanship was unleashed again and again, slashing the void and leaving streaks of bloody marks on the opponent's body. The golden armor that the opponent was wearing was also slashed into pieces. As for Fong Ping, he simply tore his shirt, revealing his golden torso. Like a demon god, he allowed the other party's spear to pierce his golden body, but only his flesh was injured, not his golden bones. Every time the spear stabbed, some blood splattered. However, the other party did not seem to be used to Fong Ping's crazy fighting style. He was beaten until he retreated step by step. Not only could Fong Ping fight, but he could also talk. Useless. Is this what you have to be arrogant? Scratching an itch for me? Come, continue. Grandpa Fong just felt a little itchy. Come, scratch an itch for Grandpa. This is the Emperor's son? The Emperor's heir? Useless thing, don't dodge. Come, I'll cut you open. You can stab anywhere you want. Fong Ping's words were full of mockery. Hongji's strength was not weaker than his, but at this moment, the more he fought, the more frustrated he became. Fong Ping was crazy. Most of the time, it looked like he was going to die together with the other party. He stabbed his spear into the other party's throat. The other party did not dodge at all. He also smashed his head with the house. He wanted to use techniques to shatter the other party's internal organs with his vitality. Fong Ping also let him shatter them. Taking advantage of this time, he slashed with his Chongdao and chopped off the other party's arm. He only had one attitude. I'll hurt you as much as you hurt me. Let's see who was more heavily injured in the end. If they could not hold on, they would be finished. For Hongji, this kind of fighting style was too humiliating. He had just come out of the temple, and it was a fight to the death. For him, who had lived for thousands of years and finally came out of the temple, to encounter such a situation as soon as he came out, was he willing to fight to the death with the other party? The Celestial Emperor was right behind him. He had no choice but to fight. However, if he were to be killed here or seriously injured, it would not be worth it no matter how he thought about it. Moreover, the other party was too good at scolding. For Hongji, this was the first time he had met someone who did not care about his reputation and would scold his whole family during a fight. Being harassed by the other party's words, he felt a little uneasy. Both of them fought for 5 minutes. Hongji was smashed by Fong Ping's house. The phoenix-winged hood was smashed into pieces. The golden chainmail was also completely a thing of the past. When he came out, the graceful and elegant Hongji was now even worse than a beggar. Fong Ping, on the other hand, became more and more arrogant. His golden torso was riddled with spear marks. Golden blood dripped continuously, but he was still in high spirits, suppressing Hongji's exploding hammer. Inside the temple, at this moment, it was quiet. In the Heavenly Emperor Hall, the Celestial Emperor Hall, was an old man wearing a Taoist robe. His hair and beard were all white, but his skin was like crystal, glossy and delicate. At this moment, the scene of both of them fighting appeared in front of everyone. After a long time, the Celestial Emperor Hall said calmly, "The neo-martial artists are not afraid of death. They say it's martial arts, but it's actually demonic. The neo-martial artists are all demons. They kill for fun, take injuries as glory, and die in battle for merit. These people have long been led astray." As soon as he said that, a group of people below nodded in agreement. However, there was still someone who said, "Celestial Emperor, the neo-martial artists are strong and domineering. Everyone is crazy. Black Radiance and Limitless Sky have already compromised. Now, if we go against the neo-martial artists, I'm afraid there will be trouble." The Celestial Emperor Hall said indifferently, "At least we fought once. Black Radiance and the others are like slaves and have lost all face. Even if the Celestial Emperor Hall temporarily compromised, they will not be so shameless. But Prince Hongji, if this goes on, I'm afraid he will not be able to defeat the other party." It was not that Hongji was weak. It was that he did not dare to risk his life. During a fight, if they were evenly matched, then they would fight with their lives. How could they win if they did not dare to risk their lives? Everyone present was also a veteran who had fought all over the world. Just by looking at the momentum, they knew that Hongji would lose without a doubt. If he loses, so be it. Let the neo-martial artists continue to be arrogant. The Celestial Emperor Hall continued. "Let them look down on us so that we don't have to fight with the land realm. Let us fight. Celestial Emperor, why don't you join forces with the land realm?" "Foolish!" The Celestial Emperor Hall scolded. "The land realm is a remnant of the earthly Emperor God dynasty. When we conquered the earthly Emperor God dynasty in the past, some of us did not die. If we join forces with the land realm, it will be even more dangerous." Celestial Emperor, someone hesitated but still asked, "Why don't you completely seal the Celestial Emperor Hall and wait until the Celestial Realm Wall is completely broken before we come out of beyond heaven to seize the Emperor's path?" they were still a little puzzled. Was it really necessary to enter the world now? He might as well wait for that day to come. It wouldn't be too late to come into being then. Celestial Emperor Hall's eyes were deep. We still have to come out? Chaos is coming, and all the monsters will appear. Understanding the monsters of the three realms is the first. Communicating with all sides and forming alliances is the second. Nurturing disciples and strengthening forces. The more people die, the better. Everyone looked puzzled. The Celestial Emperor Hall said indifferently, when too many people die, their life energy will fade, the heavenly Tao will weaken, and the foundation of the great Tao will be shaken. At that time, perhaps the Emperor's path will be revealed. In the past, we conquered the earthly Emperor God dynasty and killed countless people. That day, the heavenly Tao changed, and we only found out about it. Over the years, wars have been launched again and again, and there are people manipulating them in the dark. The more experts die, the better. When too many experts die, the great Tao will change. At that time, the door blocking the way will appear. Perhaps we can break through the door and break through to the next realm. As soon as he said that, someone was moved. Soon someone said, then more than 2,000 years ago, the world changed, and the great Tao became chaotic. Was that the reason for the war? That's right. Some people are secretly manipulating this war. The war between the North and the South, the struggle for the extreme Tao. When the heavenly realm was still around, this dispute had already happened, but it was not as intense as before. More than 2,000 years ago, these people in the North Sea were instigated by someone to stir up a war between the North and the South. With the help of the remnants of the earthly Emperor God dynasty, that war broke out. Unfortunately, it didn't succeed in the end. Perhaps the number of dead experts wasn't enough. Not enough people died, and the celestial realm wall hasn't opened yet, so the door blocking the way hasn't appeared. As he spoke, Guanming's eyes were like the sun and moon. He said indifferently, no, perhaps the seed of rebirth hasn't appeared yet. It lacks an opportunity. In this life, the seed of rebirth will appear, and the celestial realm wall will be broken. The Emperor's path is right in front of us. Guanming was eager. He didn't have much time left. Someone was plotting everything. In this era, many people's lifespans were coming to an end. Coincidentally, the Emperor's path appeared in this era. Not just them, some hidden old antiques would appear. Some experts and even some demons from the Sea of Bitterness would show up. The timing was too coincidental. At this time, too many powerhouses would face such a crisis. Those who usually hid, cultivated in seclusion, and did not compete, they would all appear. Having cultivated to this stage, could they watch helplessly as their lifespans ran out? They had transcended. They should have transcended a long time ago, no longer being shackled by lifespans. How could they die a violent death because their lifespans were exhausted at this time? Guanming murmured, this time, neo-martial artists must fight for the world. 1,000 years ago, some old antiques did not appear. There was no other reason. 1,000 years ago, everyone did not care too much about the problem of lifespans. Many people could still continue to live, but now it was not possible. If they did not appear this time, they might not have another chance. This time, it was also the real world of great competition. Some people had already planned in advance. Some people who did not plan in the past were planning now, urging the outbreak of war, waiting for the realm wall to break, contacting all parties, forming alliances. Next, that would be the real world of chaos. Bang! Emperor Guanming was still thinking about those things. At this moment, outside, Fong Ping had smashed Hong Ji's body into pieces. A Changdao appeared, chopping off his right arm. His left arm had long been shattered. Fong Ping held the saber and was about to behead the other party. In the void, Emperor Guanming said lightly, enough. Fong Ping did not care about him. His Changdao slashed directly. Humph! Guanming snorted softly. The void froze instantly. Fong Ping's Changdao could not fall. Hong Ji, who was under his foot, flushed, angry and anxious. Useless. Fong Ping cursed, and withdrew his Changdao. At this time, there were no obstacles. Fong Ping looked at the void and said loudly, Emperor Guanming, each side must send at least 3 origin powerhouses. Join the Heaven Division and conquer everywhere. If necessary, the Celestial Emperor must also attack and kill the Catacombs powerhouses. I have not recovered from my injuries. I'm afraid I can't come out of seclusion. Guanming's answer was indifferent. Fong Ping did not care. He smiled. I won't force it. However, when the Grandmasters enter the Heaven Division, those who do not obey the military orders will be killed without mercy. The Celestial Emperor must choose his people carefully, lest the people who come out of seclusion are killed, delaying the Celestial Emperor's important matters. As he said that, Fong Ping kicked Hong Ji and laughed. This person can come out of seclusion. I see that he is very dissatisfied. Just nice. I'll find a chance to kill him and be done with it. Hong Ji, who was kicked and sent flying, was furious. Emperor Guanming did not answer. After a long time, he said slowly, 3 days later, someone will go to the Heaven Division. I forgot to mention, the cultivation methods have to be handed over, including spirit stones, energy fruits, and so on. Before the Celestial Emperor sends people out of seclusion, take these things with you, just in case something happens. Having said that, Fong Ping laughed heartily, stepped into the void, and left. He did not even look at the furious Hong Ji behind him. After he left, an indifferent snort was heard. In the blink of an eye, Hong Ji was swept into Guanming by a force. January 30th, 27th of the 12th lunar month. Fong Ping once again led the Heaven Division to conquer thoughtless Jiangyu. This time both sides clashed again. The Heaven Division killed a rank 9 and intimidated thoughtless Jiangyu. 3 powerhouses, Zhang Tao, Li Jun, and War King, joined forces and almost blew up thoughtless Jiangyu. As such, the other party chose to compromise and sent 3 rank 9 powerhouses to the Heaven Division. In a short 3 days, the Heaven Division fought consecutively and returned victorious. The 3 Grandmasters, Wuji Sky, Guanming Sky, and thoughtless Jiangyu, compromised and sent powerhouses to the Heaven Division to obey orders. At this point, including Xianming Sky, a total of 12 powerhouses entered the Heaven Division, including 1 true god and 11 rank 9s. In an instant, the Heaven Division's strength skyrocketed. Fong Ping, however, knew that they were just paper. These people from the human realm upon heavens could turn against them at any time. Before the other party turned against him, he had to make the best use of these powerhouses. He did not care even if all of them died. January 31st, Fong Ping led the team back to Magic City. It was not that there were no more places to conquer, but it was almost New Year. This day was already the 28th of the 12th lunar month. New Year's Eve was approaching. For the people, it was the end of the year, and it was customary to stop fighting. As for Fong Ping, at this time he needed to sort out his gains and information. In the past few days, although there were not many battles, Fong Ping was actually very tired dealing with these old antiques. Currently, Grandmaster was not Sino Nation's main pressure or opponent. Their current enemy was still the Catacombs. In the few days when he led the team out, the Catacombs also received information that there were more and more true kings gathering in the Land of Kings. The Land of Kings might be opening soon. Not only that, there seemed to be some changes in the Catacombs. Some young powerhouses were coming out one after another. There were even people who left the restricted area and entered the outskirts, fighting in the outskirts. The Jiang family's Jiang Hao, a powerhouse who was about to enter rank 8 and was known as invincible among rank 7s, was seriously injured by same-rank martial artists in the outskirts. Troubled times were coming. There were movements in the Land of Kings, in the bounded zones, and even in the Forbidden Sea. Recently, some humans in the catacomb cities felt something. The Forbidden Sea seemed to be expanding. Near the coast, the figures of demons were often seen. In the middle of the sea, the roars of what seemed to be top-notch demon powerhouses could be heard. There seemed to be demons fighting in the Forbidden Sea too. Some demons in the bounded zones were even participating in the war. Even Magic City Catacombs Jiao seemed to have something to look for Fong Ping. Previously, when he went to the original site of Hope City, he did not see Fong Ping running away in a hurry. He did not know what was going on. Under such circumstances, while the ordinary people were preparing for the new year, Fong Ping had no choice but to return to Magic City with these messy affairs. The moment he returned to Magic City's airspace, Fong Ping felt a little sad. 3 years ago, he did not think that one day he would be so busy. Prosperous times, troubled times lurk. In this world, if we don't kill, the prosperity will be overturned in a day. I hope this prosperity lasts a little longer. That you're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.